All right, guys. It's been a crazy day today. It's been a crazy week. Very excited about what's happened here recently. Looks like I'm up about 65, maybe 70,000 across the whole portfolio today. Not just that, I'm sick, so bear with me a little bit, but very excited. My wife was able to help me out to get restreamed to work. We're actually streaming live right now on X and YouTube, which is very exciting. As you guys can see, we also have chat underneath me here that is coming across. Blake just said from X. Now I can type on X. Yes, you can, brother. So now we have consolidated chat all in one place. Very excited about that. I will be working on Patreon and Discord over the weekend here too. Other enhancements that will be coming. Still got to send my list to Alejandro. Sorry, Alejandro. It's been a rough week, man. It's been good. It's been amazing and rough and hard working all at the same time. But I'll be sending my list of improvements for the Bitcoin comparison stuff that we're looking to get really fine tuned for visualstocks.com. So very excited about all of this. Today was an amazing day too, guys. If you look, hey David, what's up, man? Needs, hey gents, what's up, dude? If you guys look though, one of the things, there's a couple things you're going to note today, and I'll try and summarize the major events of the day at the beginning of the market recaps going forward too. I'm going to try and make this as cool and concise and prioritized as I can possibly get it for you guys, so you know what's happening right away at a glance. But one thing to note today is MicroStrategy is up 8.25%. That might be, 8.34. We haven't quite closed yet. We still got 3.5 minutes. I started a little early just because I wanted to play around with all of this and I was so excited. But that's probably the main reason that's happening is because of Bitcoin news. MicroStrategy just bought $1.1 billion in Bitcoin. That's a big deal. That's 18,300 additional Bitcoin. I think they're at 250,000 now. Let me ask Grok real quick, or if you guys know the number right off the top of your head, throw it out. But I'm gonna talk to my buddy Grok and ask how much Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin does MicroStrategy hold as of today? Let's see what Grok says. Grok might not have all the latest details. I'm assuming he does. 244,800. That sounds right. So again, right near that 250,000 mark. Very exciting stuff. Thank you, Grok, for your answers and being so clear and concise as always. Just a small delay to X, maybe 5 seconds. Is the video like jittery, or is it just it's taking an extra 5 seconds to be able to see the same thing that you're seeing on YouTube? Is that what you're talking about? If you could clarify, I'm just looking here real quick. I'm gonna mute X. Here, one sec. I'm just looking on another screen here. Oh, it looks pretty good. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna keep that up here real quick. Yes, sir. Working on X. How exciting. But yeah, so today, I think the biggest news really is Bitcoin related. It's MicroStrategy, and I've said this a bunch of times, guys. But let me just reiterate this one more time here, real quick. We'll jump over and look at MicroStrategy. We'll look at Bitcoin first. Again, pushing hard near that 60,000 level. This is no surprise to anybody who watches the channel. We've been talking about this happening. And it's just it's got near the 50. Next step is right around 61.6. And then the next step is at 64, and the next step is 65. A breakout, when we do get around the 67 range and break out and turn it into support, this will be a monumental time in Bitcoin's history. But this will be the time that people dream of. I don't say that lightly. I do not say that lightly. This is the time. This is the money maker. This is the time that everybody waits for. Some have the patience for it, others do not. I can tell you the ones that do have the patience are going to make a ton of money. So let's jump over, again, a little more lower volume. I'm going to try and caffeine up, guys. Less video is good, just the sound or video delay. I'll have to check it out later and just see what it looks like for sure. But MicroStrategy, again, 8%. You guys know this. You could speak for it in the chat for anybody who's new here. I've been saying that MicroStrategy is the leader, right? It will run first. Bitcoin miners will come second. I'm not changing that stance. I still very much believe that is true, which is why MicroStrategy is up 8.00% today. And if we look, I'll just jump over to miners and give you this view. I need to add more on here, and I'll try and clean up and just make the stuff nicer all the time for you guys. That's the goal, right? But you can see how the best performer was MicroStrategy out of this group. All I have is like Hut, Bit Digital, Riot, Iris Energy, Mara, CleanSpark, Bitfarm, Cypher, TerraWolf. I got a lot of the big players, right? All the ones that really matter. Wolf down 2% on the day. But again, it's doing exactly what I said it was going to do. This is no real big surprise. Let's look at the overall stock market too. Crypto did real good. We'll look at that heat index in a second. But if you look here, just the S&P 500, I think I had this on the Russell 1000 before, but the S&P 500 looks tight. It looks really beautiful. It looks like we're we're doing well here. Seeing growth across again a lot more green than red, and none of that crazy stuff where it's just like Nvidia going up 8%. We're not seeing that. Tim from X says, looks good. Video is good, says Parkour Chef on X. Yes, sir. Working on X. That was me. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. Alex Garcia, I read about MicroStrategy multi-day VWAP buying program. Did they buy the whole 100 or 1 billion today or $1 billion, 2 billion plan? I don't know. I don't know how they did it. We should look into that as a collective here and figure out the answer to it. And then that's the kind of stuff when I get the Discord and Patreon working, this is the kind of stuff where we'll have for each major stock that we follow, and we'll come up with that list together. And we can add to it all the time. But we'll if anybody has news, we'll add that to Discord, and then we'll know right away. We can just pop up Discord and know what all the latest and greatest is from our collective members in real time. And so we'll work together to figure out all this stuff, like research that we're doing on particular investments that we're interested in. We're gonna make this cool, guys. I really feel like we could do it. And again, spread the news, spread the love too. Crypto, hit the like button, guys, if you can. I'm sick and I'm still working for you today, so please hit the like button if you would. Bitcoin up 2.62%, Ethereum up 2.4, Binance up, Solana up, Dogecoin up, Toncoin up. The only thing that didn't go up was Tron here out of the really big dogs. That's a beautiful day, guys. There is so much happening today. Let's look at the indices real quick before we go further. I just wanted to point out that the S&P is in a breakout zone from a 3-month downtrend. Does anybody give a shit about that? I do. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? What's happening right here. You can almost, it's not quite like a cup and handle. It'd be a really ugly cup and handle. It's a little too far down. I'd like to see the handle up higher, maybe like around 54. But whatever. It's probably going to do roughly the same thing, right? And what is that it's going to do? It's going to do a measured move breakout here. Doesn't have to do this perfectly. Usually does pretty good. So again, we could go a lot higher than we are today. I don't know why my session keeps dropping, but the S&P looks beautiful, up 0.54%. Let's look at the NASDAQ, ladies and gents. This is also beautiful. Again, a multi-month uptrend or downtrend is getting ready to be broken on the NASDAQ. Up 0.47%. Same kind of thing. It's going to be easy to break above to new highs. This is all happening very quick. Pour some out for those people that were left behind. The Russell, same kind of thing, multi-month downtrend, up 2.5% though. What did I tell you guys yesterday? I said, hey, this thing's going to start outperforming again. Maybe I didn't say it yesterday. I said it this week. But the Russell will start to come around, and it was okay that the NASDAQ was moving first and the S&P was moving second, just because those big dogs like NVIDIA had to go first. And that's okay. Again, just like MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy wants to go first too. It proved that again today. Let's look at the dollar, guys. Yeah, hit the like button if you could, guys. I'm working hard for you, man, and I'm just going to keep getting better at this, and we're going to get better together. So please hit the like button, comment, do all the things. Sela said, I think this might be the bull for the BTC for real this time. I agree, dude. I think we're getting ready. We're getting ready for some amazing stuff in the near future. Les Walter says average cost 38,000. Les Walter said about 2 weeks of buying at 1.1 billion. Okay, all right. All right, so they've been doing. So they were doing time. Yeah, that makes sense. You wouldn't want to. You don't want to move the market, so you're doing it over a prolonged period of time to try and just keep it. So while everybody was freaking out about the market going sideways, these guys were just grinding and picking up Bitcoin, and they're not the only ones, guys. There's so many more. Travis Simon says about Micron MU. He goes shakeout complete. Oh, are we bouncing? Doesn't surprise me. That was one of the ones on my short list. In the future, we'll have those on Discord. Tomorrow, I'll try and set that stuff up. Got a lot going on, guys, but I'm going to be moving hot and heavy. We're not fucking around anymore, so should be fun. Silas, I think this might be the bull. Oh no, that was you. Marty McFly, hit the like. Okay, Alex Garcia, we've been waiting. Yes, too long. Let me see what else here. Silas says China's looking pretty dire. I know that. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? China's pain is our gain, guys. Why would I say that? Why would I say China's pain is our gain? Because it is. Let me actually just jump over here. You could even see craziness in their bond market. The 10-year is just a flipping mess. They're down to 2.1% right now. You can see how the yield is just getting lower and lower and lower on these. and it's going to continue to. Lots of stuff happening right now. Let me actually, I want to move on real quick. I want to go, let's just roll through everything else that we normally do real quick. So I want to hit the Chinese yen. The yen, it looks like the dollar is gaining strength against the yen. So we don't have, again, that whole Japanese yen carry trade isn't going to be a thing for us in the near future. And the dollar versus the yen, the dollar has gained strength against the yen. So there's no problems there either. I'm imagining the ruble. What does the ruble look like? The dollar gains strength against, or I should say, I'm not saying this right. Sorry, I'm sick, guys. So it looks like, yeah, the dollar dropped versus the yen, but again, it's pulled down so far over time. And then the dollar dropped versus the yuan, and that's good too. All these things are good. And then the dollar versus the ruble has gained strength. I see this continuing to happen. There's a lot of craziness going on with us sending long range weaponry to be used against Russia. So it's getting weird. Maybe a little closer towards nuclear war. Everybody gave up on puts, guys. Everybody gave up. They're dropping through the floor. They're above our median baseline here. That's going to continue to happen, I think. Let's go to the bond volatility index, and we should look at the VIX here too. I got to readjust my buttons. One of the many things I have to do. You can see how it never updates on the right over here, but you can see how, again, we're dropping even lower on the bond volatility index. This is great when bonds volatility is going down. We know that stocks are probably going up, and we should be able to get confirmation of that by pulling up the VIX as well. And the VIX today, let's see, is it going down too? Let's take a look. It is. That's what we want to see. So again, we had the largest impulse up in the VIX in the history of its 30 years. And then we had the largest VIX crush. And then we just resonated. I said we would oscillate. I go, it's not crazy that we're oscillating higher here off of that massive impulse, because like a wave in the sea, when you have just a huge one that comes, it messes with the rest of the ripples, right? It makes larger ones, then smaller, 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 smaller. Same kind of thing here. So the volatility is dying down in both of these, and we like to see that. Tony Naguyan, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Anybody else, if you guys join and you're on YouTube, at least for now, until I figure out how to really make Patreon and Discord work. Also, I probably should say this. I'm going to be adding streams. I'm going to be doing multiple streams. So I'm going to be doing Facebook. I'm going to be doing Instagram. I'm going to be doing Twitch. I'm going to be doing everybody that will take me. Rumble. I'm going to be everywhere. We ain't fucking around anymore. But I'm going to get all that going. We're going to get in the Patreon and the Discord. And I don't remember what my thought was there. Sorry, I don't feel good. But yeah, it's going to get really exciting in the days ahead. And so, yeah, if anybody wants to, though, oh yeah, that's the thought. Tony just joined as a member. If you join as a member, guys, even the lowest tier, you'll be able to request a stock during the streams. I do a market open every day between 7:30 and 8 most of the time. Maybe sometimes I'll start at 7 Central Time. And then I do a market recap at 3 p.m. Thank you, Alfredo Hernandez, for joining. And then I'll also be doing Bitcoin miner comparisons once a week on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to be trying to do other member-only videos where we talk about the research that we've done with some of the stocks that we were very interested in for future opportunity, along with maybe some option trading videos and just a bunch of other stuff. So feel free to join and be a part of that. Sally Palil, can you talk about MicroStrategy buying more Bitcoin? Yeah, well, we can touch on that a little bit more. I mean, the gist is they're just going to keep doing that. Whether they're diluting shareholder value, that's the thing they do at this stage right now, is they do share dilution, and then they use that money to be able to buy. But as rates come down, they'll probably switch to convertible debt offerings too. They'll probably start they'll probably start going that path and start taking out debt in order to be able to buy Bitcoin at cheap rates. So, but they'll probably wait. That's probably later, maybe a year from now. That's what they used to do. They took out like virtually no interest 5-year, convertible notes where they're paying nobody anything, and then they bought Bitcoin with it. I mean, how smart is that? And so there's just MicroStrategy's strategy is bar none the best on earth, and they will continue to grow and become powerful in the space. And you got to love the fact that Michael Saylor's behind it. I don't know if that speaks to what you were asking about, but I do love that. All right, let's see. We got one comment in X. 1,000 watching on X, better numbers than YouTube. Congrats. I think part of that, though, is kind of getting dumped out, too. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to grow on X. I love X, guys. It's my favorite platform. But for now, since X doesn't offer the ability to subscribe, I'm having to figure things out. So if you want to contribute right now to helping out the channel and just what we're doing to build a really big community, hopefully, one that isn't expensive. I'm not doing any of this $50, $100 program bullshit. The max is probably going to be like 10. I might have a higher offering, but it's just really for people that have too much money and want to offer a little bit more to help. It's not going to be like, oh, you got to be on tier number 24 in order to be able to get the special. I'm never going to do that shit to you guys. That's just not how I work. Dario, thank you a bunch for joining, man. I appreciate you, sir. All right, let's keep going, guys. Again, I'm sick, so bear with me on all of this. Let's look at oil today and how we performed. Oil flat on the day. That's okay. It's been dropping again. We're at 69. We might get a bounce here. I've been saying that for a while, just because I think the odds of Kamala winning are a little bit higher. But I'm getting mixed poll data too, guys. So I might do a stream since I'm too sick to really have any fun tonight. I might do a stream later tonight, maybe 7 or something, or 8, and I might. I mean, I'm sure people have better things to do on a Friday. Now that I know that it's Friday, but I'd probably do a stream about politics stuff, or maybe I'll just save that for tomorrow, because there's a lot of really interesting stuff with polling related data too that I want to go over. Again, I'm kind of multifaceted. I'm a jack of all trades, so we'll talk about a lot on here. You can't have a channel that's called Micro to Macro without covering a lot. So, but anyway, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep rocking and rolling. I'm so excited about today. Just everything, guys, everything. Let's look here real quickly. So I do want to cover another big thing that happened today, and I'll try and summarize this stuff better in the future. We had more economic data. One of the things I wanted to point out that I think is the most fascinating is that United States import prices year over year. And there's a reason I'm pointing this out as being fascinating. It's because I believe what I've been saying and thinking for over a year and a half about China exporting deflation to the world. I think we're finally starting to see it. So the number today for the import prices year over year was 0.8%. What I love about this is the forecast was 1.5 and the previous was 1.7. So we came in really good for import prices. Now, export prices, if you look here, they dipped a little bit too. And again, these are month over month. I really like year over year data. Do we have year over year data? Oh, we do. Let me go back. My bad. So if we look here, yeah, no, this is year over year. So you can see that for a while there, we had that inflation on export prices where we were inflating the prices and selling at a lot. But export prices actually dropped too. It'll be interesting to see what all that means in the future. But export prices dropped 0.7% when we still thought they would be inflating at 1.6 to 1.2. Does this mean that companies don't have as much price leverage going forward? I don't know. I don't know if it means that or not. But it's going to be interesting to find out. Or is it just something where, again, they're trying to be more competitive. They're worried about, I don't know, price, but like some of the price controls that Kamala's trying to put on. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but we'll find out soon enough. Millsy, thank you for joining too, man. Really appreciate you, dude. All right, let's keep rolling down the economic data here. We'll go over some Bitcoin stuff, and then we'll start to jump into, again, just more about the markets. I am just super stoked about the market right now, guys. I'm very excited about it. Oh, let's do this real quick before we go through the rest of the economic data. I do believe we're in neutral territory still. I refreshed this earlier. Yeah, at 49. And one of the other things I'm going to do, I had this on my list. I'm going to update to Brave browser so I can see if I can get rid of some of these ads. So I'm going to try and do that here too to make the viewing experience a little bit cleaner on here and on options, profitcalculator.com, all that stuff. Probhet, hoping to get good returns with Tesla turnaround and Bitcoin in the next 6 months. I think we will, my friend. Concord says, nice day to be long BTC and a few strong altcoins. I agree with that too. So again, we're neutral on the stock index, and we're still in fear and greed. This is probably going to jump up into the upper 30s, I think, by tomorrow, though. We had such a strong impulse up in Bitcoin's price action. I feel like that's what's coming next. I did want to point out that let's see here. I got to refresh it one more time. Our odds are almost a coin toss right now, getting a 50 bip cut. Very fascinating, guys. What this is telling us is with import prices dropping and export prices dropping really quickly, the market is starting to think that it makes more sense for the Fed to be aggressive so that we can use this opportunity to really, help juice the markets. And I think that we're at a time where unemployment isn't getting any worse. It's not really getting bad. I think juicing the markets is the right choice. Real quickly, I want to look at, oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought I was in layoffs. I want to look at layoffs here too and see if we have to worry. We follow these in the tech sector, guys, every day too, just to make sure that we understand, are people getting laid off from big tech companies or any of them around the world? Seattle, again, I shit on the West Coast all the time, guys, and woke cities, because when you're looking here, you can see I'll zoom in just a hair to maybe make it more readable. So you can see, look at this. Microsoft in Seattle lays off 650 employees. Seattle, Amperty lays off employees. Nori in Seattle lays off employees. Goop in Los Angeles lays off 39. Boston, Motif Foodworks lays off people. Fly.io lays off people. ChargePoint in San Francisco Bay Area lays off people. Lyft in the San Francisco Bay. ABL in the San Francisco Bay. Character AI in the San Francisco Bay. Just all this Brave in the Brave, is that Brave browser? I don't know. In the San Francisco Bay. Apple in the San Francisco Bay. It's just one of those things where you see so many jobs disappearing from California. If you live in California, man, I would get the fuck out because it just doesn't look good, guys. This is not a good look at all. All right, so let's go back. Oh, that's Grok. We might ask Grok questions again in a minute. I do want to, oh, you know what? I'm going to jump into some other stuff. I'm all over the place, sorry. We're going to go back. We're going to look at Michigan consumer sentiment real quick. I did want to point out that since July, we've been seeing an uptick in Michigan consumer sentiment. That's not a bad thing at all, guys. This is good. Again, this is a bouncing opportunity. It looks very much like what happened after the 2008 great financial crisis. Looks like it could be happening right now. And let me just look here. So forecast was 67 and change. Consensus was 68, and we came in at 69. So again, that came in better than expected. What's not to love there, guys? Michigan 5-year inflation expectations are at 3.1. I don't think those are out of line. I think we're going to be doing a lot of juicing of the economy, and I think inflation will idle a little bit higher than it has historically, but it won't go too crazy. Well, it depends. It depends on who gains power. Michigan consumer expectations are a 73. So again, they beat forecast by 1 and consensus by 2. I don't think this is a bad number either. And if we pull this out to the 10-year, again, it's just increased expectations, very similar, like I said, to what happened after the bottom of the 2008 financial crisis. And again, Michigan inflation expectations, preliminary 2.7 versus 2.8. So they're getting a little bit better over the short term. Michigan consumer current conditions is 62.9. So expectations going forward are good from the consumer. And right now they're pretty good and they're improving in both. So across economic data, I really like what we're seeing today. Also, and I'll get back to chat here in just a second, we'll go through U.S. economics data that I wanted to point out. So one I got from my buddy Caleb Franzen. Make sure you support him. He's a good dude. It says consumer sentiment is improving steadily for 2 years. Again, it's just another way to look at it. It's got the expectations versus consumer sentiment, and you can see them both improving, just like I was talking about. Also, my buddies from Trueflation, I might hop on one of their spaces here soon. They said that that inflation just hit 1% via their metrics. And you got to remember, guys, these guys have been early, but they've been right. They're right about where inflation expectations are heading. It's very important to understand this. And we don't want inflation to go negative. That's a downward spiral effect that isn't healthy for the economy. We have too much debt. Speaking about that. So we don't want that to happen. We want the debt to become cheaper. We just broke $1 trillion for the first time ever. Interest on U.S. debt tops $1 trillion for the first time. In the first 11 months of the fiscal year, interest payments totaled $1.05 trillion, up 30% from a year ago, the Treasury reported. Remember, government overspending is the real cause of inflation. Government printing money and overspending, because you got to remember, they can just put money out into the money supply too without spending via the Senate and House and executive branch making those decisions. So they can screw you on they can screw you on 3, really. They can tax the shit out of you. Kamala Harris wants to do that. They can print money. Kamala Harris will have to do that to tax the shit out of you. And then they can also pass a bunch of bills and laws that spend money. So they can fuck you from 3 ends. They can try fuck you. Isn't that awesome? Bach said, breaking 1-year inflation expectations just came below. Again, good stuff. We already talked about that. My buddy Cantonese Cat, if you guys could support him, I don't know. Is this his actual account now? I don't know. I think it is. Let me see. Yeah, 4,900 followers. It's Canton Meow. If you guys could support him, he's a good dude. He had somebody steal his other account and he had to let it go. So he went from like 20,000 plus followers down to less than 5. If you guys could help him fix that, he does a really good job on charting, which I don't even like doing that much anymore. I would love it if Cantonese Cat and other people like my buddy Jake and anybody else, Caleb and other people that do great work. I'm probably just going to use their work because I don't want to. I know how all this stuff works. I don't want to have to do it. And so if you guys could support him, that'd be great. It'll help our community. And again, also, so in this one, he was just showing the IWM, the Russell 2000, which is also the RUT. But he was showing how it is finding its back testing off of previous resistance going all the way back to the end of 2021 and found support off of it and is breaking higher. And that's just a great thing, guys. Again, here too, just another way of looking at it. He said 2 big wicks on the IWN Russell 2000 small cap ETF. He said volume isn't very impressive, and the fact that we're waking up on low volume is stupid fucking bullish. So again, these are just really good stuff is happening, guys. Also, my buddy Caleb, he said stocks at all-time highs. Breadth is extremely strong. Treasuries are making a comeback. Gold is making new all-time highs. Bitcoin is trying to regain its strength. Yields are falling across the maturity curve. And he just said that, but what he's saying is he's saying it's bullish. And if we look at gold again, up 0.86%. Oh my God, guys, we're not up 31% in gold over 13 years anymore. We're up 34.5% or 6%. This is actually pretty good for gold. That's very exciting. Let's go back over here. So another thing that Caleb brought up, he said S&P 500 cup and handle set all-time highs. Are you bearish? See you at 6,000 based on the 161.8% fib of the retracement. So he's saying, guys, that the S&P is going up here. And this is the ETF. To be clear, this is the ETF he's talking about. But whatever, it's the same thing with the actual indice. So I agree with him. Ryan Detrick from Springfield, Ohio, of all places. Isn't that funny? I was trying to see if he would talk shit about it. I don't think he said anything. Let me know if you guys have seen anything. And I'll try and get caught up with chat. Sorry. I need to get better at breaking back and forth. Actually, maybe I'll do that first before I read this. Micro to macro could be channel about phalloplasty. Diego, I love you guys. Diego, yes, X allows you to subscribe. Stephen Mark Ryan has. It doesn't with me, dude. I have submitted my request to have a subscription service 15 months ago, and I don't have one yet. It still says pending. When I ask support about it, they don't give me any answers. So it's a little disappointing, but I'm sure they'll fix it. They're working hard, guys. Linda Yaccarino ain't fucking around. We know that. So it's all good. To the 245 people here, if you haven't hit the like, it would be greatly appreciated. Again, all the support you can do will make this better. Johnsonville, hey Jesse, do you still feel pretty good with PayPal as your second largest holding? Technically, if you look at it, Bitcoin is my largest holding with all the investments that I have that are in that, and then it's Tesla, and then it's PayPal, and yes, I do very much so, and we'll look at that in a second too. Disease Kodak, thank you for recommending the Bitcoin Standard, Jesse. I'll probably read Soft War next, and I think there was another one you recommended. Broken Money from Lynn Alden is back here too. I would do Broken Money. One of the books though that's even a lighter read, whether it's Audible or the actual book. I listen to most of my books, even though I buy a hard copy. My eyes, I've only got one good eye. It's over here. The other one doesn't work. So I listen to audiobooks, but it's The Price of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth. It lets you understand. A lot of people don't think about this, but technology advancements reduce cost usually too of these different technical goods. And that actually helps fight against inflation and create a good kind of deflation. And that book teaches you so much, dude. It's such an amazing thing. I highly recommend it. So if you guys haven't already, check out The Price of Tomorrow too. I think you'll enjoy it. Prabhat said, hoping you get good returns with Tesla turnaround and Bitcoin in the next 6 months. Me too, bro. I think it's all going to be good. I think the next year is going to be amazing. If you guys don't know this, in 2019, I was negative $47,000 on my portfolio after making tons of money in 2017 with Bitcoin and Tesla, and then letting it all ride down. I didn't know anything about the Bitcoin halving. I had to learn a lot. Anyway, fast forward to today, and I'm sitting at about 2.65 million, maybe 2.7, and I've been as high as 3.6 million. My goal within the next year to year and a half, is to end up actually less than a year and a half, is to end up anywhere between 10 and 20 million. And I might be raising that goal to 25 million. So it's been a good couple of years since 2019. And about 4.5 years ago, I was able to retire myself. 2.5 years ago, I retired my wife, my in-laws, and my parents. So it's been a good trip. I have no complaints. And so I think it's going to continue to be. All right, Concord, nice day to be long BTC and a few altcoins. I agree. very much so. And if we look at Bitcoin real quick while I'm going through the rest of the chat, again, pushing 60K hard, guys. I think 60K is broken this weekend. It's happening. It's just happening. We're going higher. Maybe we go up to at least 61, 62, or up even higher here to the 200 moving average before hitting resistance at 64. But this is the kind of stuff that will melt minds. You don't want to miss this shit, guys. Alfredo says Trump said he will not sell any of his position. Oh, is that on the coin that he's making? Or are you talking about the Bitcoin stockpile? Alex Garcia, these odds for rate cuts oscillate so much They do. They literally do with new information. Yep. Hunting, live in Seattle, tons of layoffs here in tech. Seattle, yeah, dude. Seattle, California, New York, Chicago. There's just so much shit going on, and they're so poorly run. I hate to say that about the place where you might be from, my friend, but Sealess, these cities do little about crime, and despite their claims, don't do anything that is net benefit for reducing housing prices. I know, right? They have massive regulation. If me, Kevin, is good at anything, it's talking about the massive and crazy regulation that goes on in California, especially. Les Walter, I wonder how many are lost to AI or just overload of people not needed. I think there's so much revenue. You got to remember, all the billionaires from the All In podcast have left California. These guys are literally some of the biggest people in venture capital. And so you're seeing M&A and venture capital leave. And then you're seeing, what was it, over 500,000 people in the last couple of years that left California? Let me know if I'm wrong on the stat, if it was more than 2 years, guys. But these are bad numbers. So I would say it's just capital flight from the state and companies leaving. And then you have things like automation too, because if the companies can't fire any more people, they need to figure out how to automate, or automate to fire more people so that they can increase margins. So not a good time to be in California. Silas, Les Walter. I wonder how many are. Oh no, he's already said that. Disney Kodak. Jesse, do you use MacBook Pro? Yes, I do. I have an old Air. I'm going to need a new laptop soon. New Pros are so expensive. This thing was $4,000, I think. It was like the ultimate extreme M2 something with a thing. I don't know. It's literally a laptop, a foldable. And I'm running everything right now for my streaming off of it. And it's just a workhorse. I would never stream using a Windows computer ever again. James from Invest Answers kept kicking me and just being like, what the fuck are you doing? Tom Nash gave me shit for it. All those guys, Felix, I think everybody, Tanner, I think everybody I worked with who's a streamer was like, you're retarded for using a Windows computer. And they were right. It's good to know. Let's continue liking the video. Agreed, Kamawa. Alex Garcia, can't believe you used exciting and gold in the same. I mean, gold was up almost 1% today. How exciting is that? If you're a gold person, you're like running around screaming. Chris DeSantis, you sound good for being sick. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hope it passes quick. Me too, dude. My right now it's just my voice. It was in my nose, but I don't feel like it's dropped out of my sinuses, so that helps. It's just that my voice is raw, and talking all the time doesn't help. Prabhat, my company announced 6,300 layoffs. Whoa. List coming out on Monday. Is that public information or is that not public yet? Very interesting, dude. Holy cow. That's a lot. Can you share the name of your company? That's fucking crazy. I'm just curious, dude. That's nuts. All right, let me keep going. SK said, will market crash if there is 0.5 cut versus 0.2? No, I think it'll go up even higher. I think people will be excited about it. I've said this for a while, guys, but unemployment is not super high right now. So think about that. If unemployment isn't super high, and we're seeing, I don't know, parts of the economy still maintaining pretty well. We are seeing some layoffs, but they're not crazy. Oh yeah, Cisco. That makes sense. Cisco's had a large series of them. That makes sense. But yeah, so I don't think so. I think it'll do fine. Alfredo said during his speech at California today, Trump said he will not sell any of his DJT stock position. I don't think he could. I think he'd get sued. So I think what he's doing right now is he's dual wielding. He's kind of doing what I'm doing. Well, what he should be doing is doing what I'm doing. He should be dual streaming. He should be posting on Truth and then also posting on X. I think he kind of does that because people are posting on his behalf on X. But you can't just like be like, oh shit, well, you remember that thing I got you guys to invest all that money in? I'm going to go ahead and just dump it. I think it would just absolutely fuck the stock if he did that and he would get sued. So I don't think that's happening. I think DJT will be around for a while. I don't think it's a good application or an investment, though. Derek said, Derek and Megan. Oh, hey, two of you. Nice. My gold miners are up 10% in the last 2 days. Yeah, exactly. This is a great example. Thank you, Derek. I talk all the time about how Bitcoin miners run at a multiple, just like gold, silver miners, and lithium mines and all. They run at a multiple of the underlying asset for returns. And this is a great example. You're up 10% in the last couple of days on gold. That's obviously a multiple of the underlying. So thank you for that, man. It just kind of reiterates something I talk about a lot. John Boyle, is it VW? Nope, it was Cisco. VW is probably not going to be doing good. That's probably more Germany than anything. C-List, back around 2012, I compared similar Apple and Dell laptops. A Dell with extra specs to match entry-level MacBook cost 160 more back when MacBooks used Intel. Dude, their processors are so much better than Intel. Intel's just a shit company right now. I wish it wasn't the case. I hope they get better. C-List, and that MacBook was way better quality construction. Dude, my MacBook is just a powerhouse. It's amazing how well it runs and how cool it is. Right now, the camera that I am using is just my MacBook camera. I bought this $400 fucking camera. I don't even use it anymore. The only thing that sucks about a MacBook is the limited number of connections. You need a good dock for it. If you don't have a good dock, it can suck. But outside of that, dude, MacBook is just by far, if you're doing graphic design, if you're doing, yeah, the Apple Silicon devices are so good. You're right. It's super silent, David. It doesn't even make noise. And again, look at this camera. Look at this. I bought a $400 fucking camera. This MacBook Pro for $4,000 does it now. This is it. Literally it. My MacBook. You feel it? You feel it? Isn't that insane? Isn't that just insane? All right. Yeah, I think I'm caught up in chat, guys. I'm not seeing a lot in X. Oh, I received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Oh, is that what Restream's in there? Are you slamming my chat? Anybody on X watching this right now, guys? Can you confirm? I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to jump over on X since that's kind of down for other stuff anyway. And I just want to see how we're going there. Oh, I think we're doing good. It's still running. Okay. So not too many people chatting on X, but it's up. It looks like. I'll see if there's any chats coming here too, but that's cool. All right, so let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. I do want to jump over here real quick. So now that we've covered all of this, we've learned a lot in a short period of time. We don't need to ask Grok anything. Let's go back to U.S. economy and Ryan Detrick from Springfield, Ohio. I want to try something real quick. I don't see any chat on X. I just want to test it. Testing. Is anybody watching on X right now? If so, could you hit your... Oh, no, it did come across. All right, weird. I just didn't see any chat in the screen. I don't know why. Oh, maybe it falls off on X. Maybe nobody's really it says 1,900 views, but I don't know how many people, how many active views. So it's weird. Anyway, if the end was near, oh, there's people talking now. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Whoa, now you're blowing me up. All right, cool. All right, Ryan Detrick says, if the end was near, like they keep telling us, you'd expect to see more stress in corporate high yields. He goes, not breaking out to multi-year highs. He goes, this has been a clue the whole time. All the talk about recession was not true. I 100% agree with you. You need to tell me, are people eating cats in Springfield, Ohio? We need to know, Ryan, so let us know, buddy, since you're from there. He also says, which is it? Stocks usually do quite well for the month when the first day is down 2% like this month, but the second half of September is usually pretty weak. It doesn't feel that way so far, but again, maybe we're going to get a bump up and then we'll take a little breather. I wouldn't be scared by that at all, especially if high yield corporate debt is still looking beautiful. I 100% agree with this. Already talked about this yesterday with Argentina, but their inflation rate is just amazing. Prices are coming down, economy's stabilizing. It's really a thing of beauty, guys. Also, I said for Bitcoin, just jumping over to that, I said they all will be soon. CleanSpark is breaking out. My buddy Steve Urkel dude threw out here. Titans of Crypto said Bitcoin surge ahead. He said when the hash ribbon indicators flash a buy signal on the monthly chart, it typically leads to massive pump. Fasten your seatbelts. He is 100% right about that. Just another indicator out of many hash ribbons. There's a lot of good stuff out there. We already talked about Bitcoin, and really I think the key driver was MicroStrategy today. People are just getting excited. Also, my buddy Cantonese Cat, again, Canton Meow on X. Please go ahead and subscribe to my buddy. He needs to see some more of those. He's only 17 away from being over 5,000, guys. Let's get him there. But he says, Bitcoin 18-hour chart, bullish continuation as discussed 18 hours ago, probably going to continue to 60K range. Then we'll figure out where from there. I would like to tell you, my friend, I think it's up. I think it's up, but I love the fact that he uses these Tenkanashi, whatever. Oh, I'm probably butchering the name. My brain doesn't feel good. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Anyway, also about Bitcoin, GOP lawmakers are going after Gary Gensler, saying that he's politically biased with his hiring. Do you believe that? I do. But I think it's good. Again, if Trump wins, I think it's going to be good. He'll fire that fucker. Kyle said, holy shit, Tether, less than 100 employees recorded more profit than BlackRock in 2023. So the people in the Bitcoin space, and BlackRock has realized this, are going to be the richest. I personally do not love Tether or trust the company, but they have done a better job with auditing. I don't still know how legit it is, but it's better. So we'll take it. I posted, you have to be an idiot to sell Bitcoin here. I showed this yesterday. I maintain that thesis. All right, I want to jump into Tesla real quick. Lots of good stuff with Tesla today, guys. Breaking, Tesla introduces new promotion, 0 down with 2.49% financing. So you're going to see a lot of Teslas getting sold. I think it's going to be a good Q3 and Q4 coming up, guys. Breaking, Bank of America reiterates Tesla is a buy. That's good. It would have been nice to be a strong buy, but we'll take it. Matthew said that this weird fucking thing down here was somehow tests that are being done in LA, potentially on Warner Brothers lot. I don't know if any of this has been validated. I don't think there'll be 4 wheels on the actual cab that we get, the little tiny one. But who knows? Maybe there's multiple variants going. I don't know why this is hidden and so yellowed up. It looks weird, but it also looks obviously like a Tesla, and then there's one right behind it. So what's going on there? I don't know, but fascinating. Chat is shitty on X. Why is it shitty on X? C-List, YouTube is on heavy censorship mode about cat jokes this week. I tried to send 1 in 4 iterations, but all are delayed. Really? Weird. Dan24 up, sold a couple of Tesla calls yesterday. Bought ARKG calls today. I think that's probably a good one, man. I think those will treat you good. Again, I showed the 10x potential, the underlying for ARKG, my ARKG thesis, and I think that's a great way to get into the genomics sector without really getting too involved or picking one stock, because they have like 30 of them. 32 of them or something, positions. Lawrence in X says, Jesse, thanks for everything you do. Balkan Investor said hi from X. Kanan V says, there is no recent layoff from Microsoft. Last was 9/8 of 2023. All right, good to know. That's interesting. Let's look over here. Did I say that there was on this one? 9/12 is what I'm seeing. I see 9/12. It might get sometimes on here, things get posted and then they have to redo it because something is incorrect. Let me look at the date here. It says that it's sourced from IGN. It says Microsoft lays off. Oh, one sec. Microsoft lays off another 650 from its video game force. Xbox boss Phil Spencer sends memo to staff. No games canceled or studios canceled at this time. Yeah, I don't know. It says September 12th. No, man. This is from IGN. So that's what I'm hearing from IGN. So I tend to believe it. But again, this is why I use this layoff tracker. Hopefully we'll get information before everybody else. And we like getting things off before other people. Yeah, okay. Young Dave is agreeing with me. So yeah, see, we'll get better at this, guys, because we're going to use better and better tools. And then we're going to be really smart. And we're going to share them with each other. And we're not going to hide it behind a huge paywall. We're going to grow. And we're going to learn from each other. And we're going to figure out who the best and brightest of us are. And we're just going to feed off of those people. Hopefully I'm one of them since it's my channel, but we'll see. Could be smarter people than me. All right. Tesla again. Nick Cruz says, Elon continues to make the impossible possible. Thank you, Elon Musk. Again, women, the farthest spacewalk in history, done by women. How feminist is that? I fucking love that shit. That's real feminism right there. And then at the same time, just again, most people in space that we've ever had at once, helping astronauts that are stranded because of Boeing. You've got Tesla and what's happening with FSD. You've got freeing the world with X. You've got the boring companies, tunnels. You've got SpaceX, again, doing amazing things. You got the Cybertruck, which is an insane truck. I love it. And then you have Neuralink, where you got people that can play video games at an alarmingly competitive rate versus everybody else. Hey, how's the stream doing, guys? Are we still okay? I'm getting a warning message. It says the warning, the current stream's bit rate of 2736 is lower than the recommended bit rate. We recommend you use stream bit rate of 13,500. I thought I had that. How am I doing on YouTube, guys? Is the stream weird, or is it 1440, or what kind of resolution can you guys get? Again, I'm playing with a lot of stuff, so I'll have to tweak a few things probably. Also, Son of the Walkie, my buddy, he bought at the absolute top of Bitcoin or Tesla, so he has this little crying memes all the time. But it says Tesla Cybertruck deliveries increased by 61% from June to July. Think about that, guys. 61%, one fucking month. All okay here. Looks good on YouTube. Is okay. 1080p. Okay, so I might be able to buff up YouTube and get me back up to 1440. Amazing stream. Love your energy. Thank you, Lord Drake on X. Concord says, as an experiment, I sold a couple of Tesla calls on today's dip and rebought at higher strike price that dipped more. Balkan said, could we see all-time highs in Tesla with 1010 and rate cuts? I don't think so, but I could see breaking past 300 or hitting 300 for sure, and that would make me a couple $1 million, and I wouldn't hate it. But after that, maybe, man, if the market really is doing well, if we're dropping rates, we're not seeing high rates of unemployment, we can see expansion, we have pro-growth policies, hopefully. We'll have those at the beginning of the year, then we should be all right. Either way, we're going to spend tons of money regardless of who gets elected. And I'm hoping if we do get Kamala that she won't be able to implement all of her any of her tax stuff because she won't have the Senate. That appears to be the way it's going to be no matter what. Breaking, United Airlines teams up with SpaceX. My boy Doge designer, Elon loves this dude and works with him a lot, with SpaceX to bring free high-speed Starlink Wi-Fi to over 1,000 aircraft. It says, Scott Kirby, United CEO, said, everything you can do on the ground, you'll soon be able to do at 35,000 feet. Remember how you couldn't do anything on a plane? And now you're going to have high-speed internet. You'll be able to watch me in 1440 on YouTube or on X. And you'll be able to do that from your flight. How cool is that, man? Also, Mario said, breaking, X to become WhatsApp killer. New messaging only option coming soon. So for people that just want to use X for messaging, it's going to be like Messenger now. So it's going to be like Facebook and Messenger. Just think of it that way. That's coming to X. Again, just amazing stuff. It's one of the reasons why I want to start streaming on X, because it's like I want to be a part of that future. I want to be a part of the fastest growing, most free, best platform on the planet, and one that also, too, at the same time supports my boy Elon Musk, who I love and adore immensely. No gay shit, but just straight up, he's the man. Not that I have a problem with gay shit. Some of my best friends are. All right, Matt Loney said, this is a great clip. This is a subcommittee hearing talking about the absolute absurdity that is happening within regulation right now that SpaceX is having to go up against. Listen to this conversation. This is 3 minutes. Oh, I am doing 1440. Okay, cool. I might have to figure out where the warning is coming from then, but this is cool. Exciting, man. I can't see this Twitter stream. I found it, and it says unavailable. Are you sure? Try going to my profile, dude. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm seeing people talking on it. So you might... Oh, you're right. What? Let me click on it. Weird. Did it crash? Just 1 second here, guys, while I look at this. What is happening, Restream? Why are we having issues? It said that it's working on Restream. Why is it not functioning right now? I might have to check into that more in a little bit here. Is anybody else working on X? Is anybody able to get into there? Let me go back. I'm going to try to go. I'm just going to see if I can get in. Weird. All right. I might have to figure that out. All kinds of weird shit can come up. Whatever. We'll deal with it as it comes. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to go ahead and play this right now on YouTube. I want you guys to see this. This is a clip. This is a clip from that subcommittee where they're basically just saying, why are you guys so incompetent? Why are we not able to do things we've done before? And it's insane. You got to see it.
Tell me, when we put all these spaceships, more than anybody else in the world, already up there, why the same process that we used to approve that, all of a sudden, has something changed? Is there a reason that we're holding up the same process that's already been approved previously? These 27, I think you said advisories, 17 in 1 year, 10 the next year, that you've put out in the last 2 years, how much has that sped up the process? How much have you internally looked at to speed up the process? How have you been accountable for passing the very people, the process of licensing to make us competitive on the world market, which is maybe your most important thing that you do? Please.
Safety is our focus. That's why we're in business.
So real quick, I just want to refocus what you're saying right now. Are you saying that these people that put in their license applications who are already doing what they're doing, and they're asking for exactly what they've already achieved, what you've approved them from the process before, what has changed that's holding them up?
Well,
All right, real quick before he answers that, I'm just checking my mic volume to see how I'm doing. Hopefully, I changed the dBs to 5, so hopefully this will be better and we'll get a little more in line. Maybe I just need to get the mic closer too. Actually, I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it real quick to 10, and then we'll let this guy answer his question on why he's so incompetent at his job with the federal government. And I don't know if he's a DEI hire. I'm going to assume he is because he has a fucking stupid answer.
Not safety.
I'll give you an example.
Good.
Let's take Starship Super Heavy, Boca Chica. We issued a 450 license to SpaceX.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys. I hit a button. And went in. Give me a second here. Let me turn the mic back on.
Process that we use to.
That's why we're in business.
So real quick, I just want to refocus what you're saying right now.
So to be clear, he basically said, hey, we're here to ensure that everything is safe. Now we're seeing McCormick buy her back.
Now, are you saying that these people that put in their license applications who are already doing what they're doing, and they're asking for exactly what they've already achieved, what you've approved them from the process before, what has changed that's holding them up?
Well,
not safety.
I'll give you an example.
Good.
Let's take Starship Super Heavy, Boca Chica. We issued a 450 license to SpaceX for that activity. You asked what changes. Missions change. Technologies on the vehicle change, which require a modification to the license. 450 is designed to approve a suite of missions. We should not, well, I shouldn't say we should not. It is our intention with 450 to not have to come back to deal with modifications at such a frequent basis. We're up to the 5th flight now.
This is fucking stupid. They're literally saying that Tesla is moving too quickly and they're modifying the spaceship too fast for them to be able to keep up with safely. It's like SpaceX is taking all the risk here. There is nothing. If the thing blows up, it fucking blows up. None of it matters. There's nobody around in these areas. They've got all the safety protocols in place, but it's none of that, guys. It's that these guys haven't been able to push. Oh, sorry, my mic's tripping a little bit. It looks like these guys haven't been able to push. They haven't been able to push their paper quick enough, and so that's the thing. They're like, you guys are moving too quick. We can't move the paper. This is fucking absurd.
We have 4 flights. SpaceX has 4 flights under its belt, 3 of which have been under modifications to the license that have been requested by the company. It is the company that is pushing mission by mission approvals. That's what the pace is about.
So you do realize that technology
So speed it up.
changes literally every day. This is the leading edge technology in the world, whether it be AI, quantum, space exploration. Once again, these are individuals taking their own risk. It's like when we threw our family in the back of a wagon and went west. We might freeze, we may starve,
Love this comparison.
we may be killed, but we're taking a chance for the betterment of our family or our society or our business. That's the American way. Like I said, you talk about safety. I think every company is very much understands that if they're not safe, they go away. They go extinct. They are policing themselves. Who are we to get in the way of progress? I ask you to streamline your process because I think if you don't, we fall behind and our very way of life is in jeopardy. You're in charge. You make the difference. You get to determine how fast these go through. And if what you're doing is not working, you need to change.
Haha. This is great, guys. These are the kind of people that we have fighting for Elon Musk. Okay, these are the kind of people that are fighting for him. This is absolute bullshit. It's great. So this will continue to happen. We're going to continue to have the good guys trying to win here, guys. All right, let me scroll down here. See what else we got, if anything. Oh, I really have to. That's the next thing I have to do, guys. I've got to fix my scroll. I've got a crazy, super expensive, like Steel Series mouse, and I just have this bullshit to deal with when I need to fix it. So that's really Tesla, guys. Let's look at Tesla real quick, too. And Disease Kodak says, holy shibs, you want to be 8 to 10x from here? Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah, about 8. 8 sounds about right. 8 sounds pretty easy. I mean, I made 600%. I made 7x last year. So, and this year I plan to double before the end of the year, or at least something close to it. So if I can double, then really it's like, what, a lot more than 6x over 2 years. And then I'm looking to, again, make a lot over 2025. So yeah, that's the goal. Ronald Hitchens, this guy is on it. I don't know if you're talking about me or the dude in the video. The guy in the video, yes, he was totally on it. Me, I try to be on it. I'm a little sick today, but I'm trying to be on it. C-List, the government needs to change. This guy needs to be exited. Agreed. And you know what? I think there's a particular person you could vote for where we could see that happen. Who do you think that is? Do you think that's Trump, 2024? The guy who's going to anoint Elon Musk as the Doge? The head of the Department of Government Efficiency? That seems like the guy you want to vote for, in my opinion, guys. Again, Tesla did all right today, 0.21%. We're really going to see a screamer here soon, guys. I've said this before, but I think we're going up here into like the 240 range, right where we have this other gap in the daily time frame, and then we'll kind of grind down before we launch. But I think the launch is happening between now and the end of the year or first quarter of next. And it's going to be a very lucrative one for people that are involved. Hey, how you guys doing on X? Anybody want to chat? Let's see. From a video, Johnsonville. Jesse, you don't plan to ever sell your personal Bitcoin stash, right? No, dude, I never sell that. I add to it every year. So I'll take my proxies, all the multipliers that I made money off of, and then I'll stack more Bitcoin. Starting like early next year, I'll probably just add more to the hardware wallet. That's all I ever do with it. I think that's the way to be, personally. Steeless, if SpaceX can do it and it's reasonable, mature iteration of a project, like they must work extra hard to certify it in a timely. They should be at rapid certification. They should be working with these guys to figure out what they're changing and anything they need to do from a paper wise. And then here's the deal. You know who wins no matter what? You know who wins? Making it happen. Why? Because Tesla is taking the risk. They're taking the fucking risk. It is their right. It is their right. As long as they're not endangering people around them, it is their fucking right to move fast, and these guys should move with them. That is my take. Sealess, Kamala would come in presenting or resenting anything Elon. She would. She would be the exact opposite of it. So again, if you own Bitcoin, if you want a more efficient government, if you want to be able to have it to where if you're somebody who's being paid hourly and you don't want to be taxed on hourly earnings, or you're on Social Security and you don't want taxes on your Social Security, or you want to be able to keep the tax cuts because you got a small business and that the tax cuts that Trump implemented back during his term, you want to keep those and potentially have lower corporate tax rates, whether you're a business, whether you're a retired person on Social Security, or whether you're a 9-to-5 worker, you should vote real Donald Trump. That's my take. SK, Jesse, can you suggest a good hardware? There's different variants. I have a few. There's some like, what is it? I'll probably, you know what? Instead of shooting them off, I'll do a video about it in the near future. Les Walter, overtime under Trump will not be taxed. Yes, exactly. Disease Kodak, Jesse, for amazing health advice, listen to the latest Chito Vera podcast episode. He had a guy who sounds like the smartest health advice guy I've ever heard. Yeah, I'll check it out, dude. Definitely. All right, so let's keep going here. So again, Tesla doing great, guys. Very excited about Tesla. Let's roll through some others here. We have what people used to affectionately call Pain Pal, down 0.37% on the day. But again, I've said this for a while. I'm going to keep saying it right now. If we expand here and we take a look, we had a hell of a bounce. Let me just go over here. We had a hell of a bounce off of the 100 moving average on the weekly. We're above the fib. We're getting ready to break out higher. Here's what I see coming, guys. I'll just draw the line so you're aware of it. This is what's coming next. So Pain Pal is not going to be Pain Pal anymore, and then people will be talking about how wonderful that it is, and that will be really funny. Let's see. I do have some people talking on X now, and I think I found out the issue on X, guys. I think I fixed it. So I'm just going to read some X chats real quick here. Once I get in there, it might still be populating. Oh, there we go. Kevin says, happy to see you streaming on X. Kanan V says, all good. David Y says, when do you expect to be completely out of Tesla 330 calls? I don't know. It depends on how quickly they move. I can go back to that real quick and show you something. Let me just do that. So the Tesla price target's kind of where I'm looking at, right? So let's just do this. We'll go to weekly. It's going to be a little easier to see. So I will start to dial out of some of these calls, probably more. I might sell just a couple, like 1 or 2, 3% up until 270. Max, I would be out 5%. 290 max, I'll probably be out 10%, something like that, maybe 15. Just to use that towards other investment opportunities that I'm looking at. And then when we get to 390, I'm probably going to be 40% out. So somewhere along here, I'll be going from like 10, 15% out at the 290 range to about 40% out by the 390 range. When we get to 40 to 50%, let's say. When we get to 600, I'd probably be 75 to 80% out. I might even be all out and switch to stock at that time because the amount I would make is a lot. Now, if I held all of this and didn't sell any of it between now and 900, I could make anywhere from like 11 to $14 million just on this one trade. But I won't do that. I'll be dialing out. If I make 5 million off of this trade, I'd be happy. I wouldn't hate that at all. Hopefully that answers your question. Jarrett Bell says from X, he says, any reason it was a bad idea for me to sell some MicroStrategy and buy CleanSpark? No. Over the shorts, I think that's a great idea because CleanSpark is a multiplier, a greater multiplier than MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy can go 2 to 3x the underlying on average, could maybe creep to 4x or 3.5 for a minute, but it will be limited in some of that move because of just its sheer size. MicroStrategy is a massive company right now. It's what is MicroStrategy at? Let's just look. It's at $25 billion. So it is significantly larger than CleanSpark that is sitting at like, it's 1/10 the size. And so CleanSpark will be, instead of that 2 to 3 or 3.5x multiplier, CleanSpark will be probably 3 to 6x multiplier, probably landing on 4. Maybe recently, like I said, with CleanSpark, when like beginning of this year, it was as high as 5 to 6, the underlying Bitcoin asset. So, and then if you're getting calls, you're probably getting a 2x off of that. So you could be getting 10x potentially in returns. If you held those CleanSpark calls and Bitcoin really started to launch, Bitcoin got to 150K, I think you'd be up 8x probably at least. So I think you'll be doing much better with that personally. But again, there's a time issue with it. So if it doesn't happen in the right time frame, if we don't get that accelerant that we've had every other cycle, then it would be problematic. But because you have an option instead of the actual stock. Hopefully that makes sense, Jared. All right, so let me see here. Marty's talking about it too. So let's just go over that again. So Sela said, all right, let's go back to Ray. I want to make sure I get everybody here. Yeah, Les Walter, Disease Kodak. I'm going to deep dive his stuff soon. The guest name is Shevin Jafaria. That's the health guy. Okay. Ray says from YouTube, Jesse, thank you for all your efforts to improve the platform. It has made a significant leap since the early days. Hopefully I have. I think I've grown a lot, and I'm going to get a lot better too because I'm willing to not just try and make myself better, but I take advice from brilliant people in this community, and that's helped me out immensely too. And we work together. We're a team on X. What my buddy Alejandro with Visual Stocks, we're a team at getting better and trying to get wealthier. You know, we do it together. Silas, I bought $100 for January 2026, or for 2026 PayPal calls today. Cool, man. I hope it works out. Silas, I bought MSTX today. MSTX, for the people that don't know, is a multiplier of MicroStrategy. I think it's actually a 2x. Is that right? Or is it a 1.5? I think it's a 2x. Let me just pull it up. MSTX. So if you bought this, then you could get a 14% return. It says on this, it is a 1.75. That's a weird number, but again, this is done really well. This is a good way without messing with options to be able to make a lot of money over a short period of time. Silas says up 131,000 today. Good job. Silas is a baller, guys. He has more money than I do. So, and I feel pretty proud of myself. I don't know, Silas, where's all your money come from, man? You sounds like you've had it a long time. All right, let's keep going. So, again, PayPal I think is going to be taking off and doing better here soon. Robinhood, let's pull that up. And then again, if you guys have stock requests, start throwing them out in chat. You're a drug dealer. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, that's Daniel saying that. Alex, lol. Diego Ramirez says, haha. Nice. Jarrett Bell just said, already had some, just DCA'd. Oh, okay, cool. Good to hear, man. Noel says, CleanSpark or MicroStrategy? If you had to choose just one, maybe I would do both. But I would maybe, if you wanted to keep it simple and didn't want to fuck around with options, I would do MSTX for MicroStrategy. That's probably if you don't want to touch options, I think just CleanSpark stock and MSTX for MicroStrategy, maybe on a down day because today wasn't it. You could do those and you would do really well over the next 6 to 9 months. That's my take. Or I should say 7 months to 14 months is probably a better time frame. Robinhood up 2% again today. How much did I make? I don't even know where we settled, guys. Let's look. So I probably made 50 grand today across all my portfolios, maybe a little bit more because I have a larger amount of MicroStrategy in some of the others. So about 50 grand, maybe 55, we'll call it. Again, not a bad day. It looks like DLO dragged me down the most, even though it was up 0.47%. And that was bringing me higher earlier. So there must have been something that kind of, I think they were up better. And so somebody flushed out and sold at the end of the day and it dumped it. But best of the day, ARKG of all, up 3.16. I got 10%, so I got more than 3x, about a 3.3x multiplier on my ARKG position, which is great. And then the next MVP was Robinhood, again, that we're just looking at right now. It was up so this is a great, look at this. Robinhood up 1.96%. My Leap today, especially my ones that's further out, the one I'm really playing with, up 10.21. So that is that's a 5.5x multiplier versus the underlying for today. That's a great number. So those two were the high flyers today. And then we also had, MicroStrategy, but there's not a lot of that on here. And then Mara did great today. CleanSpark did good today. And again, we're just waiting. Tesla and PayPal are a huge part of my portfolio. When they start to really run, which I think is coming soon, we'll really get some good numbers. I'm just going to scan over here. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything else. Palantir AIPCon happened recently. Again, let me go back to Hood, and we'll get to Palantir in a second. But Hood, again, up 2%. I think it's just a matter of time. We're going to scream really quickly, guys, and I'm going to make a lot of money off of this as we climb anywhere from the 30 range to the 34 range. And that gives me anywhere from like 37% to 50% higher over a short time frame. And again, 1016 is their big date, guys. SoFi. If we're looking at SoFi, we're seeing the breakout finally. All you people that have SoFi, congratulations. I'm very excited for you. It looks like we're getting confirmation on the weekly time frame of a close above it. That means 2 out of 3 weeks will be above the previous resistance line that goes back very far on the timeline here. It is over 1,130. Let's see. Wait. Yeah, 1,316 days. So well over 3 years, guys. And we're getting ready to break out here. And again, I think in short order, SoFi can go up 51%. Very excited about that. Chris X says, thank you, Jesse, for taking us on this journey with you. I appreciate it, man. Smack Dab Trade says, audio quality is much better on X. Interesting. Jarrett Bell already had some. Okay. All right, cool. So that's all the chat on X. Oh, I got to pull up 4. That's a good call. Disease Codex said, mention that health guy podcast above because I care about you, Jesse, in this group. We have the best group here. We all need to focus on our health, guys. If you get older, you could have all the money in the world, and if your health isn't good, you're not good. Sela said, no, Jesse, not yet, Jesse, but I'm working on it. In this account, I only had 90,000 after my 2022 crash. I did add 9,000. Half my portfolio value is MSTR and MSTX. Okay, cool. Well, that's probably going to treat you well, though, dude. Steph, what do you think of CLSK 1020 March 2024 spread? That's too short of a 1020 March 24 spread cost 150 profit as long as March of 2024 has already come and gone. I'm not sure. You probably need to elaborate, Steph, on what you're doing. Or maybe you got the wrong date. Tony Naguyan, ASML, as good entry point for this long-term juggernaut. I'll look at that in a second. Daria Ferraro says, Tesla calls June 2026 at 3:30. Am I late to buy now? I don't think so. I don't think so. They're up. Like, I've made money off of it. You can see them down here. I can zoom in just a hair. I'm up 76% on them. But look at my Option 101 video if you haven't already, so that you can learn more about how options work. And then I would run the option profit calculator over here. I would go to optionsprofitcalculator.com and do the numbers after you watch the video. And that way you can make that decision for yourself and be empowered to do so. That's what I would highly recommend. But again, SoFi up 3.75%, down 0.26%. I think SoFi is still going places, guys, very much. I talked yesterday about how it looked like Anthony Noto is trying to increase the personal loan business. I think that's going to be really positive. Square, I'm just going to finish running through mine and we'll get to you guys' stocks. 0.5%, not a huge leap today. It's still grinding underneath peak volumes and the first fib. Once it establishes support above that again, I think we're set to rocket on Square. Palantir, again, Palantir AIP Con 5. I love that video with Amit where I forget what Amit was saying to Alex Karp, but he was saying something to him like, how do you feel about all this stuff? You know, like the Amit Q&A thing that he does all the time, of which I love. I'm not shitting on it. I love Amit. He's a good dude. But he did his little thing, and then Alex Karp smilingly looked over at him and said, fuck you. It's just, they have a great sense of humor and friendship together. I love it. I really love it. So yeah, Palantir up 2% today. I do want to talk about this actually for Palantir. One of my friends, again, Cantonese Cat, guys. If you don't follow him, you need to follow him, guys. Support people that we love in this community, okay? People that treat us good in this community. We need to support them with all of our might. And so he posted this. He said, did you know that institutions were unloading SMCI to retail prior to the S&P 500 inclusion? There was some of that with Tesla too. It's not in this chart, but it's a good thing to reference. He said, leading to price plummeting afterwards. Again, Tesla plummeted, right? But he said, did you know that institutions are behind the 8 ball in buying Palantir since it only has less than 45% institutional ownership and will have to rise over time? So again, he's just giving you an indication that maybe Palantir does better this time than what would have originally been thought. So that might change my thesis a little bit. Maybe that gets us to the previous all-time high of 45, 46. I do think, though, that we'll stop at some point because, again, we've got over a year and a half of bearish divergence in the RSI. That will change things eventually, guys. Let's see. Balkan Investor on X says, what's your exit strategy on the CleanSpark options? If we get a really big move, I'll be selling out. And going into CleanSpark stock. And I do talk about that decently, but I'll go over it again real quick here before I get to my last things. And then we start looking at your guys' stocks. So if I just shrink this up. So first off, I think between now and the end of the year, there's a distinct possibility that CleanSpark gets to $33 a share. That would be a 250% move. I would probably sell out of 50% of my calls at that time. Honestly, and convert it over to CleanSpark stock and other stocks that I want to own. Because that 250% move is a 500% move for me on the options play, roughly 400 to 500%. And that's a lot of money. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then the next really after that, the next points are going to be previous all-time high, or I should say recent all-time high, $42. Maybe I'm 60% out at that time. And then at 75, I'd probably be 100% out or close to it and just be in stock. Does that make sense? Hopefully that answers your question. Jarrett Bell says X needs to upstream resolution on TV to at least 1080. I think it's supposed to, but I don't know. Yeah, they need to work on again, I love X, but they need to just work on their tools. And I think they're going to do that, and we can be at the forefront of it. So it'll be fun, guys. It'll be a good time. Jesse, are you in hood options? I am. I made that play a little while ago. If you look over here, You can see I bought Hood 35 calls for January 2026, and those they 5x the underlying asset today. So I was getting, and that's pretty much what I expect. I'm only up 42% on them, roughly $37,000. I've got about 116,000 in Hood calls right now, or I'm sorry, 118,000 in Hood calls. So I do plan on making a bunch of money on that. Dario says, "What is your CleanSpark call?" I can show you that. Give me 1 second here. CleanSpark is right here. It is a 37 strike point, July 18th, 2025. So again, I'm giving myself a little bit of time for this to play out, about 10 months. But what I love about this is if I sell out of 50% of it and I've made 500% off of that gain, the rest is just play money and I'll have paid for it a long time ago. And again, I'll have a lot of extrinsic value, which is time-based value, and I'll have the intrinsic value. It'll be getting close to intrinsic value. So most of it will be extrinsic, but it'll be a huge multiplier if it goes up as quickly as I think it can. Silas says ASML. Wait, Tony the Guian, let me make sure I don't miss anything. Carl Williams says, "Hey Jesse, good show. When the market runs up, do you have a set percentage you set your trailing stop?" I don't do trailing stop losses at all. Nope, I don't do any of that. Tony the Guian, Marty McFly, thanks. I have a bit of higher average, trying to figure out if this is a good TA level to buy at. Silas said, "I think ASML is better limiting their China exposure. The chips that their newest machines make will be made somewhere. Let it be outside the PRC. ASML will sell machines either way. China should have to import something. Let's make it they shouldn't get. I mean, they shouldn't get advanced microchips or lithography at all. And we need to lean on it hard to make sure that they fall behind greatly." That's what needs to happen. Jay Rath, okay, all right, I'm caught up with comments, sweet. Oh wait, Jarrett Bell said for X, he said, "It updated from 480 to 1080 as you were speaking. Jesse's got more powers than we thought." Hey, I'm fixing shit right away. All right, so anyway, let's keep moving on, guys. So we did Palantir. So Palantir, yeah, AIPCon though. Very exciting times. Let's actually see. I've got a few Palantir things in here to talk about. So we talked about Cantonese Cat. John, he loves Palantir. He just said full clip of Palantir, Alex Karp at AIPCon. This is 7 minutes. He said here's a quote. You know what? We're gonna let this play because I love this guy. If you haven't heard Alex Karp, you need to hear him. 1 sec.
Our AIP prowess, our foundry, maybe even our government products, and there's some things I'd like to say there, and welcome, obviously, all of you, 111 of you presenting.
Going to turn up the mic.
Actual things done in Palantir products. We have our leader of our retail movement here, which is important. But for whatever reason, this was scheduled right before probably the largest event that has ever happened to our company. And we've had some pretty interesting events. First of all, we survived. Most Silicon Valley companies do not survive. We focused on how institutions ought to run and build software products around that, starting with clandestine services, moving into spec ops, moving into the battlefield, moving into commercial. And these products have materially changed the course of society. We DPO'd, which is a fancy way of saying we didn't give the bankers all the money. We transferred it to loyal individual investors, which is part of the reason we have so many supporters. And yet, no one thought we would be profitable on a free cash flow basis or that we'd be GAAP profitable. And the idea that we could be in this exclusive club of the S&P 500 was something that, believe me, everyone internally is like, okay, Alex, just shut up about this idea. This is too much. No way we're going to get this to work. And it worked. And for us, this is just like at Palantir, it is just arguably the biggest event that has happened to us because, you are actually a real serious company. And it was done on the back of products that are powerful enough that we could keep our company the same size and increase the number of partners we have and the revenue. So, and I would say, while getting on the S&P, we stayed true to our values. That's kind of obvious and sometimes annoying to our partners because we have to speak about certain truths that maybe aren't popular, but it doesn't make them less true. But we also have the very best partners in the world. Palantir, over a course of 20 years, there have been two things that have been true. We have the very best people. The Palantir degree now is the most important degree in
I'm going to keep playing this. We got about 5 minutes left on it. I did want to answer a question real quickly. A couple of questions. Balkan asked if I'm hedging right now. Not really. Bitcoin's my hedge. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the future here, but and maybe further in this session today. Noel said, Jesse, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin miners in the long run, like 5 to 10 years from now? Do you think they'll always be such a good investment, or do you think mining difficulty increasing over time, they'll become less and less profitable, causing their values? They'll keep advancing tech. And I think you'll have moments where the tech moves quicker than the hash rate moves. There'll be competition. It'll be nation states competing against each other, not just businesses. Nation states will be a part of it. So it's going to be very competitive, and I do think it will be lucrative. But there'll be times where it underperforms. There'll still be cycles like what we have now, but there'll still be a multiple to the underlying. Somebody was just saying earlier, with gold up like 2 or 3% this last week, they're up 10% with their miners, gold miners. It's the same kind of thing. You get a multiple for your miners, and that's not going to change. So I think that's going to stay the same. Let's get back to our buddy Alex Karp here with Palantir. And somebody said in chat, Shale said, Alex Karp referenced the leader of retail was here, and he was talking about our buddy Amit, which is badass.
in tech, bar none. People now have to make sure we get people or mission aligned because we have so many people just want to join so they can become famous. And then we've had the very best partners. I hate the term clients, but de facto clients. And obviously, we could go through the government clients we're allowed to acknowledge, and they are the most elite and interesting in the world. But I would say our commercial partners, as witnessed here, and the people presenting are the most interesting, most dynamic, most, in general, highest integrity commercial partners that you will ever meet. The people running them who've purchased our products, the people who are supporting the people running it and doing their own thing in IT, engineering, production, marketing, have one thing in common, which is I need my business to work better, and I'm going to look at the product, and I'm not going to look at the steak dinner. And that's how we ended up with the best people and the best customers and the best use cases. And of course, that is just a massive structural advantage. And that was an advantage before you got to AI. What is the large language model? By the way, as a kind of non sequitur, I'm not sure what the person, our partner from U.S. government, is going to say today, because I didn't even know we were allowed to talk about this stuff. But I'm really excited that we can have a vignette into that. We'll see what we're allowed to know. But that's super cool. But then if you have this revolution, large language and algorithmatic, in the U.S. government, it's more, in general, more algorithm than large language model. But it is a weird revolution because it's in a normal revolution, you have lots and lots of startups, and they get one or two get all the value. In this revolution, you have the large language models and AI have to be processed in an enterprise. And what that basically means is enterprises with high business acumen and high talent can raise their game and become essentially the startup that would have disrupted them and disrupt the startups. So it's like an incredible time to be you, and arguably not as good a time to be a venture investor. It's like, it's great to be us, it's great to be you, because the intermediate of large language models is how do you process them? How do you fix your margins? How do you turn your company into a portfolio? How do you understand where the risk allocation is, the capital allocation? How do you turn your non-engineers into engineers? How do you disrupt the distribution? How do you make up for distribution while distribution has capital costs? The nature of political uncertainty disrupts your products. All these things are solvable with our product, your business acumen, your data, your way of going to business, and you can accelerate them. And it's that acceleration that is going to drive our partners to what I view is going to happen to us, which is become stronger, bigger, more successful, and actually happier, because you do not want your best workers working on things that they don't enjoy, that there's no point in doing, where they're not productive, where they can't prove the results, where the margin changes aren't actually showing up on the bottom line. And all those things are possible with our product and with you. And it's just an incredibly exciting time. But again, the most exciting thing for me, and I'm very happy to have you guys here, this is probably going to be an AI PCon that's part work, and quite frankly, you may see them partying. Surprised they're even awake. It's like, Palantirians don't really get the opportunity to party. High school didn't work. No one would party with us. College, you were busy trying to get into Palantir. And then you have to work, and we had a DPO, but no one really thought that was going to work. So there was so much of a surprise that there was no partying. So now, if they're slightly slower, slightly inebriated, forgive them. Enjoy the vibe.
What a cool
it's
guy.
a rare time for us, and we're going to be back to crushing it with less alcohol and other things. Yeah, we don't. It's like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but we don't really have any of them. But we do have a great product. It's a great product. You don't need any of that stuff. The product makes up for it. It's the size of the product that matters. So, any case, with that, welcome to what I think will be a really cool time. I am exceedingly happy to have you here. I'm exceedingly happy currently, just in general, because of the S&P admission and other things, and having you and having 111 people actually show things that are working. And I hope you have a good time and come back. Take care.
I don't know if you guys get this vibe, but Alex Karp is one of the coolest people. He's a brilliant mind. He's a great dude. I love how loyal he is to Amit, somebody who stood by him through thick and thin from the retail side. I love that. I love it when leaders have that kind of loyalty. And he's a brilliant person who looks at geopolitics in the world as well as what his company can offer it. Huge, awesome dude. I only own one share, but I'll be owning a lot more in the future. Again, I made $600,000 off this company last year, but it's such a great company. For the people that didn't know it too, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but some funds are selling out. And from a technical level, I can see why they would. They're probably regretting it today because they would have got an extra 2%. But again, Palantir is doing great things. I just think they're an amazing company, and I'm very excited about them. Let's go to ArcG real quick, and then we'll get back to you guys' stock requests. Disease Codex said, where and how do you recommend storing Bitcoin, a physical ledger? Yes. I'll do a separate video kind of talking about some of the different ones that are out there, some of the Bitcoin hard wallets and what you can use. I have all of my stuff. I have, first off, I have some of mine in a recoverable one with Ledger where I can get access to it. But here's the thing. If it, like, let's say if one of the devices fails, I can get access to those Bitcoin. And it has a recover feature in order to be able to do that. That saved my ass once. But also, too, if the federal government starts going after people's Bitcoin, you don't want them to be able to go after this company and be like, give us access to this wallet via the same recovery feature that they use. So you got to think about stuff like that, too, right? So there's other wallets that don't do that, but I try to do mine where I have access to them in multiple locations, like that recoverable one. I have the ability to be able to access that in a couple of different physical locations in this world, where if one of them disappeared, I could still do it with the other. And I have them on like things like fireproof safes, like. And then I have other ones too. So there's the more security, the more redundancy, the more distribution you could do. I think the healthier and safer it is. If you're worried about the government, again, some people aren't. Some people aren't worried about any of that. And I might not be. If Trump gets elected, I'm actually probably going to be pretty positive on a lot of that stuff. But it doesn't hurt to diversify your risks, right? I'll do a separate standalone video though. That's better. C-List, Amit highlighted his efforts to retail investors. It's good to encourage the next two generations. Agreed, dude. SK, what happens if your hardware wallet company goes out of business? See, that's a great question right there. So with the physical hardware wallets that I have and the recovery feature and like the way that you use it, you're going to be okay. You're still going to have access to it. And again, there's other ones where they don't have any of that stuff, and there's ways for you to still access it. You could do it on paper, man. Like there's so many different ways. It's good to definitely understand what the risk to reward are with each of them. And again, I'd like to distribute it across multiple platforms. And then there's some that I just even keep on things like Coinbase still to today. So yeah, it's going to get better over time. There's a lot of options, but it's also very confusing. So I can understand why people ask this question all the time. Like I said, I'll probably try and do a video where I do a good job with this, or at least find one. And this would be great with the Patreon and the Discord, because if I find one that's a really good source, I'll just post it and tell you guys about it and be like, oh, hey, this guy just did all the work. I agree with everything they said. Here you go. And that way I don't have to do it, right? So, but we'll figure something out. Millsy David, Jesse, you talked about how you will dial out of CleanSpark options. However, as I am not into options, what might a good strategy be? So again, you could do something similar to it. You could do something similar to what I was talking about. And just as I'm dialing out, you can ask these questions too. And say, hey, like I'm doing stock. How much would you have? But I would do something similar. If we run really hard to 35, and again, here's the thing. It's hard. I'm not a financial advisor for a reason, right? I'm just a high school dropout, but who turned into a multimillionaire on his own. But it's one of those things where I don't know where you live. If you're in the United States, there's tax advantaged accounts like IRAs where I trade in. That's where I do my day trading or rebalancing, really swing trading. I don't trade sometimes for weeks or months at a time, but I rebalance in those because then I don't have to worry about paying tax. I don't pay tax until I withdraw the funds from the IRAs, which I don't plan on doing for a very long time. For Roth IRAs, you can pull from sooner, but then there's traditional investment accounts where you get taxed right away. So I would probably just hold on and slowly dial out in an account like that because I don't want to take a tax obligation until I think we've reasonably gotten near the top, or at least to a level that I'm very excited with, and I don't mind if I miss out on the last doubling of Bitcoin. And maybe 2x in Clean Spark because I feel I've made so much money I don't want to be greedy. So it really depends on like the accounts you're using, where you're located, what the tax obligations are, and then also option strategy and stock. So it gets a little complicated, but that's what I would do with that. I would maybe dial out slower if you have one that isn't tax advantaged and it would be a taxable event. I wouldn't sell as quickly as what I'm doing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. X is pretty quiet. Nobody's saying anything on X, guys. Got 3,000 views on X, but pretty quiet lately. All right, and Andres, even if a ledger or something goes out of business, you'll be able to run a node and recover funds there. Yeah, no, good point. Good point. Yep. Very good point. All of them are different. And again, it's a lot of things are recoverable, but also too, if you can recover your wallet with a recover feature, you have to wonder too, will the government be able to recover it? And I'm not as worried about that stuff. But again, if Kamala comes into power, maybe I am. All right, let's keep going. ARCG up 3.16% today. Again, I've been saying this, but this is bullish, guys. Look at these wicks underneath of us right now on low volume. I mean, well, let's look at weekly because monthly is kind of deceiving with volume. Increasing volume, but really, again, the trend on volume, if we look down here, it hasn't been high, but what I believe is that it's going to start breaking out high, and that's the part where it gets fun. This is the part that gets fun when this week's volume, it looks like it wasn't much, but maybe next week we start to see a volume increase and we break up, to test 30. And if that happens on ARCG and we start getting above these, above peak volumes, it's going to get fun in a stock like this. Again, this is my favorite diversification play if you're trying to get into the genomic space where there's like 30 or 40 companies, whatever they hold right now, and 90% of them fail, but you want to make a shit ton of money off the 10. And right now, I'm getting anywhere from like 8 to 10x, I think, in potential returns for ARCG if the price doubles and goes up around 50 to the 40s, right where the 200 moving average is. So that's a wicked return versus the underlying on my options play. Flux. Let's see. We got people talking in X now. Kalito says, flipping over from YouTube to X. Juan says, what is your opinion on Lunar Rocket Lab? Also, have you heard of RCAT and OKLO and U? A lot of companies don't mind if you ignore meet. It's your time. I might look at a couple of those, Juan, but what I'm trying to do, since the only way I can get like really monetized right now, since I can't do it through X because they don't give me the subscription service or anything, I prefer to do stock requests, but I'll probably look at one or two of those just to be nice. But I want to do that stuff on X or on YouTube. So for now, at least, you'd want to be a member and pay at least $2 a month to get answers to questions like that. Kobe just gave me 35.90 something. I don't even know what that is, Kobe, but thank you. What is that? What does this mean? But thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Hey, bro, I'd love some insight regarding miners and MicroStrategy in relation to Bitcoin. How come MicroStrategy moves sharply, but the miners don't? So I've been saying this. If you're new here, Kobe, I've been saying this for a while. MicroStrategy is a first mover advantage. It will go first, and especially based on a news event today where they bought a lot of Bitcoin, 13,800 more Bitcoin, and got themselves almost to 250,000. You're going to see that first mover advantage in MicroStrategy. Now, what's going to happen is the higher multiple items, which are the smaller market caps, right? Like the next one in line behind the $25 billion MicroStrategy would be Mara, most likely, that you'll see start to really outperform. And that one is, $5 billion something type investment. And then you'd see CleanSpark, which is a little bit smaller, maybe in the 4 billion or something. Then you'd see the smaller ones, and then Bitfarms is like a billion or under a billion. So you'll see that people dial down the risk curve, but a lot of them start with things like MicroStrategy, and so that goes up first. But the greater multiplier is in the miners, unless you're doing like MSTX, where it's a 1.75 of MicroStrategy. I don't think that's a bad play. Sealess is doing that right now, so that can be really good too. Sealess, we saw this with so-called progressives and the Gaza war. Suddenly it got uncomfortable. I might have missed a few of your comments. People are not worried about the government until they get a taste of censorship. Yeah, exactly. If we get a Kamala Harris and we start getting, X gets banned or something, man, I'm going to get really pessimistic. Even though Bitcoin will still benefit, I'll worry about the United States and the rest of the world. Millsy David said, I'm in the UK and hold my stock is in ISA. It's 100% tax-free. Oh, shit. Then I would maybe think about doing the same thing I'm doing, where if it jumps 250% between now and the end of the year, maybe shave off 50% and look for other investments to dial into or for a dip. And again, we'll know that better too. I'll talk about it when it happens. I'll be like, whoa, guys, the technicals are getting really overbought. This is scary. We just hit 80 on the RSI on the weekly or something, or in the 80s. This is time where, it might start breaking and we might get a 30% retrace before going higher, because we really haven't seen volatility. It's coming, though. Flux, what the Flux? I'm loving the Flux. It's in the heart line here in yellow. You could still see that Flux was up 0.31% in business hours today, but then after hours it's up 2.13. I still think we're going to get a breakout in this one. It's a really tiny small cap, though. It's only 54 million. I got it from my boy Rex Finance. I want to do a video with him too. Rex, if you're watching, we should figure something out. And I think I'm going to do something with Tom Nash with his Patreon or something. I don't know. I'll try and help him out too. Anyway, Sila said, people get skeptical quickly when they taste the bitterness of the government. Yeah, dude. Silas, we saw the same thing, progressives in the Gaza war. Suddenly it got uncomfortable. Suddenly they got blowback for supporting their side. Disease Codex said, I bought some Moramara, BITF stock, and ARCG calls. Those I'm trying to get more of, and soon I need to start loading up more Tesla shares. Silas, some sought safety and diversity of opinion on X. Exactly, man. This is like the one place you can go where you don't have to worry about people fucking you with censorship, at least for now, right? As long as Elon is out of jail, we're out of jail. Concord, Solana today. How is Solana looking? Let's just take a look. Yeah, you know what? We should look at crypto bubbles too. Might not be a bad idea. How we doing today? Whoa, Jesus, the month on crypto bubbles is insane. Look at FET. Look at PopCat, whatever retarded meme coin that is, FTM, Aave, HTX, just everything is looking good. Last week's been crazy. This is nuts. But let's look specifically at Solana. That's the one you were talking about, right? Let's jump over to that. And then, yeah, we can look up some of those other plays that you were talking about too. Who was it? Juan. I'll try and do that too. I'll try and start getting through stock requests. If I miss a few guys, just push them up to the front. You can always send it again if you need to, if I don't get back to you in time. And then I say, hey, does anybody have any more? Just put it out there. It looks like I must have overrode this with Filecoin when I was looking at it the other day. So I'm going to fix that right now. Solana does look sick. Solana looks ready for that breakout, guys. Again, I should just draw this out here. This is my favorite shitcoin right now, even over ETH. Even though I do have some sidechain ETH investments too. This one has a 50% upside just to get to its 52-week high. That's a decent return. You do have to remember, though, it's a $65 billion investment, but I can tell you shitcoins can go much higher than you would ever expect. So, yeah, Solana's doing good. Kanan says, any thoughts on Rivian? Seems like people around me are buying more. Don't buy Rivian, dude. Kanan, don't buy Rivian. Let me just show you real quick, bro. I was interested in Rivian, and then I got out of it really quick at a 50% loss on my options play because I was just doing a leverage play with a small amount of my portfolio, like 1.5% of it. But Rivian is such a shit company. I don't think they're going to make it. Don't get me wrong. They build great products. They can't do it at a profit. Their vehicle production is diving. Their total vehicles delivered is flatlined. Their cash position is plummeting. Their debts are increasing. And sure, there's been money that's been thrown at them, but their net income, dude, was negative $4.5 billion last quarter. And their free cash flow was negative $1 billion off of 1.15 in revenue. This thing will fucking murder you. Do not own it. Don't listen to people who even talk about it. If they talk about it, they're being stupid, or they have some additional information that I don't know on why this company is just really going to excel in the future, because they have such a difficult ramp. And if you can't make money, you go bankrupt. And at the very least, what you're going to do is dilute the shit out of your shareholders, which they do right here. They dilute the shit out of their shareholders. So I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, bro. Me trying to be nice. TFB, agree. Faster we can move away from YouTube, the better. One day, Jesse, it will be the only way. Maybe YouTube just really has to basically. I think YouTube starts to die more. I think X is really going to crush it. But YouTube will have to start. I think they'll have to stop censoring content, because they'll have to try and be competitive against X. That's my take. Andrea, MSTX is my next play. I think that's a good one. Megan L, any views on HIMS? Good run last few days. I'll look at financials on HIMS real quick. And so we're only an hour and 30 minutes into this. I think that's pretty good, guys, for... and I'll do a bunch of stocks right now, but I think that's pretty good. We're doing good. This company has 52% revenue growth year over year. The forward PE is only 33. The stock has dropped a lot. They're really building up revenue. Their net orders, average order value, cash flows getting better all the time. Operating expenses, they could do a better job managing them. I don't like the ramp on this at all. I would like to see this table off and go sideways. I don't care about R&D. Spend all you got to, but what's going on with S&M and G&A? Why are administrative costs so high? They have very little debt. They've got $100 million in bonds. They're doing share dilution. It's not a crazy amount. Let's go over here and look at a few other things. So insider trading. The biggest thing that's happened with this is our insider activity is Q1 of 2021. Somebody bought a lot of shares. They bought a lot of shares back. Institutional ownership continues to increase. Short interest is a double digit at 14%, which means it's got rocket fuel to the upside, Megan. If you look at their guidance, it's beautiful. So HIMS has been beat up a lot. I can see why it would want to bounce right now. This is probably a decent play at a 33 PE. At the bottom, it was probably a good play. But again, I'm already in things that are so asymmetric, I wasn't really interested. But we're up 4.74% today. If the economy really is doing good, I think you're going to get past the recent 52-week high, which is at 26. And I think the next real big move is to $36. That's a doubling of your money. For a lot of people, that would be good. But again, I'm trying to get 8 to 10x my money in the next year. So that's not good for me. All right, let's see here. Lord Drake, I think is what the fonts are weird on X, but yeah, or Lord Drake. Okay. Caspa Mining has demonstrated notable profitability, outpacing even Bitcoin. Yeah, there's always one of those. Reminds me of all the other ones from the last cycle, like Zcash and all this other stuff. This indicates that Caspa offers better energy efficiency for profits. Have you gotten a view on this? There's always a new shitcoin. I think Caspa actually is probably one of the better ones that are out there, and it probably has a good opportunity. I might own some. I probably own some. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great way to make money. I just would not get in your head that it's better than Bitcoin. People do that because the returns can be better than Bitcoin because it's a lot smaller. Let's pull up Caspa, man. Let's look at the financials on it. This is not a company, by the way, guys. It's a shit coin. Let's look at the technicals on it. I haven't really paid much attention to shit coins. I probably should. Yeah, it looks strong. Looks strong. I would argue that this is this market cap. What is the market cap on Caspa? I don't even know off the top of my head. Do you guys know? Let's go over here. So it says 21. Is that 21 by market cap? Market cap is that, why is it in Bitcoin? Fuck that shit. Let me fix this real quick. Market cap is 4.2 billion. So Solana is what, like 60 something billion, maybe 70 billion now. It's the top 5 coin. It's 65 billion. And this other one's 4.1. So do I think there's an opportunity there for the price to go up with the narrative? Because there's a lot of people that love Caspa. Yes, dude, I really think there is. I think you can make a lot of money off of Caspa. That's my guess. Doesn't it, all coins are risky, but yeah, dude, I think you could do good. Kalido, did you see Invest Answers update on miner valuation? Shows Bitcoin HODL as a percentage of. No, I did not, but I pay for his Patreon. I'll probably take a look at it before I do my own miner comparison on Sunday afternoon. I'll be looking at Sebastian Ski's work and his work, and just digging through the news events, trying to come up with my own thesis. It won't be as perfect as I want it to be because I'm still trying to work with Alejandro on visualstocks.com because we're going to be making a page for Bitcoin miner comparison. I can show you some of that right now, just some things that we played around with. Let me do that real quick. So if I go over to Visual Stocks, I think I dumped most of this in a container of CleanSpark. And so we'll make a separate indicator that probably won't be a real stock. That's my thesis behind it. I need to send this stuff over to him. But if you scroll down here, you can make your own charts in here too. And so I played around with that. I don't love all of them, but I do like this kind of look. Miner or Bitcoin held by miners. I like this kind of look. I need to make sure all the numbers are driving. I was going to do data validation for him too. But I like things like this where we could have pie charts kind of showing, by market cap and all this other stuff. Because I don't feel like there's enough of really just easy visual effects that let you know which miners are outperforming versus others. And I want to help with that to the best of my ability, or at least my viewpoint. So I'll watch that. I love James. James is my boy, man. He's such a good dude. I remember when his account got hacked a long time ago. I tried to help him out too. He's such a good guy. He's just a real genuine person. And again, I talked to him behind the scenes about politics and other stuff. He's just a real person, and there's not a lot of people that have 500,000 followers on YouTube that are that great. But he's definitely up at the top of the list. Juan, got it. Thank you, brother. How do I subscribe? Can't find the link on X. So this sucks. For 14, almost 15 months now, I've been wanting to be able to add subscriptions on X, but X won't tell me what. They just put that it's being reviewed, and they won't tell me any updates on ETA or anything. And a lot of people have the same problem. My friend Caleb Franzen has the same thing. I think my friend Bach has the same thing, where we have 60,000 plus followers and we can't even get a subscribe button. So you can't do it on X. You can't support me that way. You can watch me on there, but if you want to support me for now, you can do it on YouTube. If you've got an iOS phone, you just have to go to the desktop app or request desktop app, or use a PC or a Mac or something, and then just click the subscribe there. And the minimum one is $2 a month. In the future, I'm looking at doing a Patreon Discord where we're really going to step it up. And I'll probably lower the rate on YouTube to $1 for being able to ask about stocks. And I'll be asking people to contribute on Patreon and Discord, and kind of pulling myself away from the platforms. Maybe I'll have a $1 subscription service on X too, where people that subscribe for $1 on YouTube or X, they'll be able to ask questions, and I'll filter out by people that are subscribed whenever they give that to me. But right now it sucks, man. I wish I know it's going to get better. I have faith in Linda Yaccarino with X, and I have faith in Elon Musk, so they'll get it better. But for now, it's just kind of sucked. It's been a shitty experience from the subscription side. They just haven't done anything with it. Canon V, any thoughts on Rivian? I did just answer some of that. I hate it. And I did invest in it, but they need to have, the fundamentals have to dramatically change. You can't lose $1.5 billion a quarter. And they don't even have, their low cost solution doesn't even come out till 2026, man. So these cheaper vehicles don't even come out for a long time. And I don't think there'll be a company by then, or the shareholder dilution will be so bad that you'll have hated yourself for the opportunity cost for holding that piece of shit versus Tesla. TFB, Jesse, can you review Celsius? Pepsi reduced some inventory levels, but it may just be ST hiccup. I can. One sec, though. I just want to look a little further at Caspa here. This is such a beautiful trend. Again, having issues breaking out, got above, couldn't find support, got above, found support beautifully, breaking out. Next move is going back to 20 cents, guys. Then it's 27. Then it's 36. I don't think this thing gets really kind of overbought until maybe close to that level, as crazy as that sounds. Maybe that's over the next few months, but that would be that'd be 116%. Actually, I think it could do it quick if Bitcoin starts taking off. If we get to 92, like I think we're gonna do, Caspa could go much higher. It could go much higher. You could see this thing by the end of this cycle. Caspa will be, it will be probably somewhere in here, maybe $2 would be my guess. maybe more. It could go higher than that. These small cap shit coins, guys, they can do so well. It's fucking crazy. There will be people that make 100 X's on some of these. Will Caspa, we won? I don't know. Juan Ferguara. So bad. Sorry, man. $2. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Not even a request or anything. You guys rock. Let me get caught up on YouTube side here. So let me see. I was trying to go back and forth. Between chats. I'll probably going to stop on the X side here in a second. TFB says Caspa will do well in the run, but get out after nice run. Every shitcoin get the fuck out. I mean, Bitcoin miners get the fuck out. Options get the fuck out. All shitcoins get the fuck out. The only thing you should hold is some Bitcoin stack with no multiplier behind it. And again, I don't even buy all that at once too. All right, let me get back to chat real quick on this side, and then we'll look at some others. And I'll probably pull up Celsius for you as well. Disease Kodak said, I accidentally bought hood calls with a month or two earlier expiration than you, and it's printing. Oh, yeah, you'll get a multiplier. Just don't get too greedy with it. Maybe when we get to 30 to 34, you start to dial the fuck out of that. Because, again, you know what it's like at the end. Anybody who's been in options for a while, you can lose your shirt, guys. You can't be too greedy with options. I prefer leaps, anybody who knows me. And even then, I don't use them on everything, guys. I've only got them on a few things. That's just because they're on multi-year sellouts. Like they're in routes that are, 2 to 4 years. And the opportunity, I think, is going to be immense as we have global liquidity expand, of which we talk about, too. Yan Katho, ILS, Israel, Shekel. What do you mean by that? Are you saying you're from Israel? Cool. Sealess, I had to divide my government comment into 4 parts to get it through YouTube Gauntlet. That sucks. Sealess, YouTube filters, Gauntlet is a knight's glove, I believe. Yes, true. Sealess, Kobe, the miners start to match Bitcoin's price when they bottom. They start to outperform very quickly too. When Bitcoin starts to peak, or I should say this, when Bitcoin starts to peak over shorter time frames, like let's say months, quarters, miners will explode in the amount of return when like right before that peak. So that's when you'll really get the multiples, guys. It's when it starts to heat up. Silas also said, but mostly they'll loosely follow until euphoric periods. Yeah, you're on the same page, bro. On the downside, the miners dump quickly. Yes, they do. You get out of them before the peak, for sure. And we'll be doing all that, guys. I've got I think 18 different metrics and analysis tools that I use to confirm tops in Bitcoin. And when they start firing off, we're going to get the fuck out. I'll probably turn that into a dashboard too, just to help you guys out. Let me see here. Andre says Mara also partially mines Caspa, like 1% of their portfolio. Yeah, I think I remember that. That's cool. Silas, that's cool. So many young people are so censorious these days. They're taught that. They're taught that censorship is good. They're taught that by the mainstream media. If you go to universities, especially liberal colleges, they're being taught that literally communism and socialism and the blurry lines in between are way better than capitalism. You'll find people that'll straight up say that they're Marxists, they're communists. So there's plenty of that stuff going on. This whole free Palestine thing is all a bunch of fucking communists. They're teaching them communist propaganda at the same time. So it's sad. We need to fix that. We need to defund the educational system, the federal education system, to where we don't try and control what people believe, especially children. I don't want people telling my children what to believe. That's my job. Silas. So they cowered by the 20-somethings, detrimental to society. You don't need to be manly man, but don't be a weak man or a woman. Yeah, we just need to be people who are okay being themselves and don't try and force their ideologies on other people, and have basic rules of morality that have been founded off of Christianity. I'm not even religious, but here's the thing, like, it's a good moral code, and it's one that's helped us a lot as a country over the last several hundred years. Why would we want to throw that away? Why would we want to remove morality or make a new definition of it? Disease Kodak, if you don't get it before, what do you think of my scale out 2026 Tesla plan? I'm behind, so you might have got it. 265, 275, 285, 305. I mean, that's close. My charts, guys, they're on X too. You can find them on my pinned profile. I'll be updating that stuff, and I'll probably actually start labeling things as like target 1, target 2, target 3, so that you guys get a better idea of what my targets actually are, where I see like different levels. And I'll probably do like major and minor, indicating like first target minor, second target minor, third target major, and I'll dial out differently. I don't know if I have an exact mathematical formula for all of that yet, but yeah, under my pinned profile on X, you can see my portfolio allocation. I need to update that. I'll try and do it today, or at least over the weekend. And then I have all the charts that I share out too on TradingView, and I can add more to this. So if you guys need them, they'll be there. All right, you said Celsius. Let's pull it up. If you guys have more stock requests, now that I'm kind of getting caught up here, throw them out. Otherwise, I'm probably going to retire and enjoy some of my weekend. I might do a political video later for anybody who's interested in polling data in regard to the presidential election and the Senate layout and all that kind of stuff. I try to curate all that too and get a really good idea of where we're headed, because I think it matters. I think that's a thing that people should know, because it can affect your portfolio. Silas said, I'm not religious. I have a degree in peace and development studies. I've traveled the leftist circles, and they were often dark, even 20 years ago. Yeah, they have been. It's very weird philosophies in that. So yeah, Celsius looks like it's in a good bounce zone, guys. We're bouncing off of peak volume. It would be good for Celsius to get above the 36, 39 range and to turn this into support. If it can get to 39 and turn this into support, then we could have a nice bottom here on at least the monthly candle. Because you got to realize this thing dropped. Could it go down further? Yes, it could. And I do want to say this. It's down 66% off of a double top. It's pretty much made its measured move. It's hitting peak volume on the entire range of the company. Right? This is the most volume the company's ever seen. You can see this shelf right here. Now, there's another one down below that really kicks in at 23. Do I think we have to go down 70, 78%? I don't. And one thing I want to show you is the PE on this one. Let me just get up here. Sorry, 1 second. So again, Celsius, the PE ratio on this right now is at 38. So it's not stupid cheap yet, but again, I think this is a growing company. It's 23% revenue growth year over year, 65% increase in profit growth year over year. But they just have a period where the thing I don't like is they're looking toppy. So if they top out, you could see this thing go lower. This is where you can't just look at technicals, guys. So I do think that there's a possibility, just based on the PE, if they're topping out in their revenue and they don't start doing better, of having a drop down to 23 or 24. I do believe there'd be some value there, but you'd have to know the fundamentals about the company and whether or not they're a good one to be invested over the long term. Guys, if you're requesting stock requests for now, at least until I do the Patreon thing, and with Discord, where basically membership stuff is in there, and I don't really have a lot going on YouTube or X outside of just trying to limit the amount of people that are talking in chat. Please make stock requests on YouTube. The way to do that, the way to be able to talk on YouTube is by being a member. It costs $2 a month. It's not a big deal. And then you can make stock requests. So I'm going to just say that. And Juan just subscribed on YouTube. Name is, that was you. All right. Thanks, dude. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Juan. So yeah, if you want that one, Fide Boy, then you can, if you spend $2 a month, I will look up stocks for you, and I'll show you the financials, and I'll show you the technicals, and I'll give you my input. And we'll start tracking a lot of these too on the Discord when I get it set up, so that we can throw in new information and then get notes about it in real time. The cool thing about Discord too is I can put Discord on here, so it'll pop up in chat, and we'll be able to see that, like, oh, hey, wow, this news event just happened, because one of us lets the group know under that particular channel for that stock. It's going to be cool, guys. It's going to be fun. I'm very excited about it. So we'll grow together, like I said. All right, so let's look over here. So any under here. Ramalangam. Wow, that's a decent long name. I don't know if we want to call you anything for short. I have 52% of portfolio on Tesla shares. That sounds pretty smart to me. Should you think convert some of them to MS? Not a bad idea. Do you, Ramal, do you have any Bitcoin or crypto exposure? Can you tell me that? Silas, it depends on which you think will run first. Exactly, I agree. My Tesla MicroStrategy balance is constant question for me. 21%. Okay. I don't know, man. You might want to even it up more. again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a high school dropout. I'm a self-made millionaire. There's a thing way down at the bottom of the screen that talks about that. It says don't ask for financial advice. But personally, me, I don't know. I'd probably be a little bit closer. Again, this is probably a rough version of my portfolio right now as far as allocation size. But you can see how I'm a large amount in Tesla, but I'm not 51% like you're talking about. Then I have some other bets with ArcG and PayPal that aren't Bitcoin or shitcoins. I also have Hood. And this is a larger percentage. This will get updated being a much larger percentage. And then I have a bunch of Bitcoin related shit, right? And then Flux and DLO, some of these smaller ones are on here too. So I've got diversification bets going in a lot of different directions. I do that for a reason. I do that because I want asymmetric bets in different directions. So if one of them outperforms, I can dial out of that. And if I'm making 500-600% on something, I'm putting some of that in my other baskets for them to be able to run too. That's how I like to play with it. So maybe something like that, bro. Celis, you could try some MSTX unless you want a long-term hold. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. That's a really good idea. So MicroStrategy can do a 2 to 3x pretty easy, or maybe even a 3.5x at peak versus the underlying asset of Bitcoin. So you get a nice multiple. Well, if you do a 1.75 on top of that, again, it's like options. There's theta decay over time. But I think MicroStrategy could really rock and roll, and you would just sell that as it goes up. So you could maybe get 5-6x what Bitcoin can do. I think Celis is spot on, like usual. That's what he did today. Good call, man. I should have done some of that. Oh, well. I do have a lot of MicroStrategy, though. I've got 6 figures in it. It says 4% in here, but it's a decent chunk. It's probably bigger than that now. Rommel says, thanks, Jesse. Yeah, you're welcome, man. No IE on the Jesse, guys. I'm not too offended by it, but Jesse with an IE is for a girl. I used to get really offended when I was 5, but I don't care so much anymore. Fide Boys did ask about SoFi. I'll give it to him. I did look at it earlier. So I'll give it to you, though, even though you're not over in the right place. We'll give it to you. So I think SoFi is brilliant. I was saying this earlier. If you missed the stream, might want to go back and watch it. I think SoFi is getting ready to hit the .618 at the 8 level. Once it breaks up, it's an easy run to 950, and it's not that hard to get to 1178. I think you could see a 65% run in SoFi between now and the beginning of the year. That's my thought process. Jesse X, let me help you guys with this. Jesse, that is my name. Okay, let me help you out. Concord. Tesla is a little riskier at this point, in my opinion. I think Harris win. Exactly. That's a good point, actually, Concord. So I do think you make a good point about Tesla. He said that it's riskier right now at this point, in my opinion, because a Harris win would hurt Tesla more than Bitcoin, at least short term. I 100% agree with that, because Bitcoin will be very resilient. She can't do a lot to shut that down. But Tesla, she could just be a dick. They could do a bunch of regulatory stuff. Mainstream media would probably feel like they have free range to just attack Elon and Tesla on all fronts with all of his companies, including potentially censorship. So there probably is more risk in Tesla, even though I believe the multiple, if you own the options, is going to be really good. And I think you've got a greater chance, though, without options, of getting a larger return from Bitcoin in the next 6 months plus. Jesse X is in Latinx. I like it. My wife came from Panama, so I love those Latins. I also love blondes, blacks, just about everything. No. Pretty much just women in general. No, I'm kidding. Don't tell my wife. Wife, do not watch this episode. But yeah, anyway, back to it. So I think we're pretty good, guys. I think we covered a lot. Did I miss any news events? I feel like we covered a lot here. I think... yeah. Oh, and Juan paid. We should look. We're going to look at a couple of his here real quick. So we'll look at Lunar and we'll look at Rocket Lab for now. I usually do one or two per person here. Also, unless somebody's paying like a higher membership, one of the other ones. Sila says, is your wife a Latina or a Latinx? Shut up, bro. Shut up. All right, let me see here. So let me get this one. I don't think I have it, so I'm going to make a new ticker here for Lunar. How is it spelled again, too? Where were you in here, Juan? 1. There you are. Okay. Lunar. So these are probably like all rocket companies, I'm assuming, Juan. Is that what you're talking about? Like just rocket companies? Rocket companies. Rocket. Let me see here. Intuitive Machines. Okay. Interesting looking stock. $788 million market cap. It does look like it's been forming a bottoming pattern for the last several years. When did this go live? Really in January 2023, we started to see some big moves. I'm going to draw a fib extension, and then we're going to look at the financials on this one because I really like to understand the financials. I also like to understand the fundamentals. That's hard to do in a YouTube video, but man, the financials are at least a must, at the very least. You know what I mean? So the .618 gets us to about a measured move of 10. And again, the 52-week high on this thing is 13, and then the all-time high is just stupid. It's 136. We're way far away from that. Can it ever get there again is the real question. Let's look at visual stocks. Again, my buddy Alejandro's site. I get paid nothing to talk about this site, but I love it so much, and he's my boy. What is it called again? Let me see if I can find it under here. It is Intuitive Machines. Let me see if I can find it. I got to get a list, too, of ones for Alejandro to add. All right, so I'm going to put that on the list. I'll start to get these on here, guys. Ones that we're looking at. I'll ask Alejandro if he can pull it. If it's not a ton of work, I'll get Lunar on that so we could take a look, because I really need to understand the financials to be able to talk to it, dude. I just can't otherwise. It's too hard. Now, Rocket Lab I've talked about, and I've shit on it a decent amount, along with a lot of rocket companies, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So, again, stock's going up 8.75%. I love it, right? Like this thing can go to $8 pretty easy. That's the next leg here. And then I would argue that it could even go to 941 or the .618, the golden retracement zone, the 1070 range, before it really starts to hit resistance. That's not a lot, though, and this stock has been a lot higher. I would argue it's a value trap where it's eating people's money, and here's why I say that. It's one, the fundamental reason why I say that is because it's something that Elon said a long time ago, and that it took me a while to really understand this because I didn't understand rockets and space that much. But it's really hard to grow as a company when you're launching rockets into space. It's dangerous. It's hard to scale. So it's just a tough job. And here's what I'm saying. So revenue, there is revenue at Rocket Labs, $106 million for last quarter. That's good. Let's look over here at their estimates for what they're forecasting. Hey, we're seeing increases. A couple quarters out, we'll be at 127. That's great, but they're still going to be losing money. And if you look here, they're selling. Insiders are selling out. So these guys that work for this company just keep selling all the time. And that short interest on it is huge, which allows it to spike really quickly, almost 20% short interest at 18.6. But the things that you shouldn't like here are going to be right over here. It is, again, share dilution. It is a non-existent PE ratio because they lose money every quarter. And net income out of that, what did we have last quarter? 106 million. Net income was negative 41. So they're burning down their cash. Their debt load is increasing. Their operating expenses aren't scaling. And all of this is because rockets are hard. It is hard to be a rocket company. It is hard to be a SpaceX. If you want to invest in the next SpaceX, you should be an accredited investor and really get friendly with somebody that knows Elon Musk well. So that you can start investing in SpaceX, because that's going to be the one you want, or Starlink or any of that stuff. They're all going to make a ton of money. So I just don't like rocket companies very much, man. But I will be happy to look at others, though, over time, definitely. Let's see here. I think that's it, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for the day. So you guys have a great weekend. For anybody who's interested, I'll probably be doing a political video tomorrow. And maybe some other videos tomorrow too. We'll see if there's anything that really entices me. And then Sunday we'll do the Bitcoin mining video. It won't be as clean as polished as I want it to be, but it will be getting better all the time. Sam, thank you for joining. I appreciate your support. And then one of the big things I'm working on this weekend is, again, the Patreon and the Discord and just getting stuff spun up. So I will be doing my best to figure all of this out. And figure out how I can keep providing value and how we can grow as a community and provide value to each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love you guys. It was a great week today with Bitcoin popping. I think that's the way to go out, right? I think it's got to be everything Bitcoin. So I don't buy the fucking dip doesn't really apply. I don't know. you know what? I'm gonna do 3 videos. We're doing Bitcoin's going to zero. We call them poor, and we're gonna do all-time high. So we're gonna go out this way. I love you guys. You take it easy, and let's talk later, okay?
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam artists.
These people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. Yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Is that clear?
What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right, like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right, but I mean, we can all look Bitcoin sort of as...
Forever, Laura. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 Okay?
Well, you know what time it is. Whew. We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs. There's no greater feeling than hitting that sweet. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Run it back. We back in the black. We back in the green. Got the team all around me. We rowdy and causing scenes. Where you been? Grab a cup, baby. Come and take a sip. Oh my bad, yo, what's up? Man, you didn't buy the dip. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's really gotta suck. Only problem that we got is that we didn't buy enough. Man, I joke. Man, I kid. Know exactly what we did. Now we pull up in the whip. Cause we just hit. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich. Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby. We just buy and get rich. Got my family on the phone, they asking what they should buy. I say a time machine to take you back to when I was trying to get you buying on the low, instead you trying to buy high. I guess it's time for me to sell this shit and wave it goodbye. Like sayonara, I don't wanna be stuck there with the bag. Don't be mad, I'm just saying I'm taking some of the cash that we stacked up, baby, cause we out of here. As we blast up straight into the stratosphere, right through the all-time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky, we just buy and get rich. All-time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby, we just buy and get rich. All-time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky, we just buy and get rich. All-time high in this bitch. Watch it pump, baby, we just buy and get rich.
With time, a seed becomes a tree, sheltering us. With time, a skill becomes a talent, empowering us. With time, a technology becomes a tool, enhancing us. By nature, time gives value to almost everything, yet the very thing our society gives value to, our money, loses value over time. This paradox warps our reality by defying the laws of nature, and it stems from the belief that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, meaning money must always lose value. We built our reality off of this model. Time value of money, we call it, but in reality, this is just dogma. Since we can keep making more of it, we end up destroying our own purchasing power. So we put it in stocks, put it in bonds, put it in land, put it in funds, put it in crypto, put it in gold. But we are not oracles, so what do we know? We know that it's hard to get by. We know some people may never retire. Is time value of money a lie since it discounts the monetary value of our time? If time is money, how are they moving in different directions? We're working longer for less, we end up just giving away our freedom. Give up liberty for policies, give up our agency to the authorities. Because when our foundation is built on complexity, we simplify humans by giving up our humanity. Reality check, we've strayed too far from the truth. The world economy's a wreck when 1 + 1 no longer equals to 2. And if life's created from the truth, along the way something got screwed, and we let our own dogma subjectify value. We divorce action from consequence. We defy the law of physics when we make scarcity infinite. We disregard the language of mathematics. So our systems are built in a fallacy. Our society's based in a fantasy. In the absence of truth, we're living in the shadows of our own reality. And that's the root problem. Man-made rules can be broken. As our trust crumbles, so does the progress of our civilization. But one thing remains constant: no one can cheat nature. So why not use it to architect a stronger base layer? The most beautiful buildings engineered based on these consequences. Natural law drives rigor needed to build something enduring, uncompromising on principles that accounts for the flaws. Because when our lives are at stake, the gravity of truth cannot be ignored. So if our monetary systems were designed like structures, it would embody energy and matter, so the money itself matters. An unbreakable limit enforced by costliness of creation ensures the structure holds value for many generations. A rule-based system governed by maths builds a transparent ecosystem that can self-error correct. With no one in charge, no words are taken as fact. Only work from computation can actualize truth of timestamps, and like water flowing off a cliff down the path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by upholding consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that's much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money, merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. It's just a way to live freely, just a means for possibility. Because when we build on integrity, we enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because when our money tomorrow is worth more than today, we shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural law drives rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it. Something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible when our real value and consequence exist in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations, fueled by monetary life force, lasting for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.